the Bible. Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that He used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding Him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book and the truth will make you free. The Hebrew and Bible Academy, you're invited. Starting June 1st, it will begin a new installment of the Hebrew and Bible Academy. The full 12 weeks will be concentrating on the beginning and fall of Babylon, history, the understanding of the religious aspect of Babylon, as well as what? The theme from Babylon, Rome to America. In the Academy, this is what you can look forward to. New lessons, the secret war of Edom against Israelites. But one thing we've never delved into was bringing forth the history, showing all the contentions and war Edom has waged against Israelites even until our present time. The desolation of abomination, how to calculate time according to God, and I can't wait for this lesson, Armageddon. The final war in heaven. If you've never been in the Academy, you want to be in this one. June 1st, we're in open enrollment right now. Go to historytimes.org to enroll. Hebrew and Bible Academy, you're invited.
The East is where we're from.
Come on in.
12 tribes of Israel.
Blessings, blessings.
In 721 BC, the Assyrian king, he took us down, we fell.
Come on in.
With the great escape, we went through the Euphrates. The Lord held the water still. To a land where no mankind dwelt, we went. The 12 tribes of Israel.
Blessings, come on in.
We be Manasseh, the Cubans, Ephraim from Puerto Rico, and Valley from the Isles of Hawaii. The Lord is calling back Israel. From Panama, the North American Indians, Simeon, the Dominicans, the highest gathering in Israel. The Arabs and Africans told us,
At gunpoint.
together our wives and children then sold us. In the belly of these great ships we traveled in fear.
There it is. Come on in.
By the rivers of Babylon we found our brothers here. A high gatherers in Colombia, Reuben from Australia, Issachar, the Mexicans. A high gathering is right Judah, the Negroes, Benjamin, the West Indians, Levi, the Haitians. A high gathering is right
Shalom, brothers and sisters. I'm Elder Ricard Shiara of the Gathering of Christ Church here live with our weekly broadcast. And yes, all praises be to the Most High. We have another detailed conversation for this evening. Please do me a favor, hit the like button if you haven't already. Hit the like button. I see the usual brothers and sisters in the house. Yatazar Kazak, Hebrew Harris. How you doing, my brother? And I knew it wouldn't be too long before Maria popped up here. Sharon, how are you, Sharon? Faith, Kayem, all the usual saints in the house. Of course, we have Elder Dell and Elder Iraq as moderators, right? I would give out a few more wrenches here, but I don't want people going haywire and just deleting people from the broadcast, because people need to hear it whether they agree or not, right? How you doing, Aisha? How you doing, Chaz? All the usual saints, shalom to my brothers and sisters throughout the four corners of the earth. I'm Elder Ricard Shaw of the Gathering of Christ Church, and yes, I do have a serious lesson I would like to go into, but before then, let me let Elder Lawyer know whenever he's ready. Whenever he's ready, he can call in at any time. Right? We're going to jump right into it. I just text Elder Lawyer, say, hey, listen, let me know when you're ready. I want to jump right into it. We have a lot to deal with today, this evening. And of course, we have to fly out and support, our brother Quadam this coming weekend. So I'll be on that side in a few days. But I would like to jump right in. And of course, I want to do a small Patreon this coming weekend. Okay, so I'm going to make sure I'm into that. Even if I travel back and can't do it Friday, I'll do a Patreon Monday. I'll do a Patreon early Monday, probably around 10 o'clock in the morning. Well, shalom, shalom, my brothers and sisters throughout the four corners of the earth. Yes, you see the title. Overcoming the death jaws of Babylon is the title. Oh, he says, I'm ready now. Okay, there it is. All right, my brother. Where is he? All right, let me bring in Elder Lawyer. Come on in. Are you there, Lawyer?
Yes, sir, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Good evening. I hope you are doing well.
Yes, sir, I am.
Praises be to the Almighty. All right. I'm glad I was able to get, for some reason, it has this weird thing in the corner, but I'm going to fix that. Yeah. Well. All right. We'll do it this way. It doesn't matter. All right. Let me bring you inside by side here. Elder Lawyer is in the house. Yeah, we have to drop some things on this Babylon, what's going on in Babylon. And I definitely have to, through the Spirit of the Almighty, bring it all around full circle. I don't see you. Oh. Yeah, I couldn't see you because I think I'm looking. Hold on. I think I'm looking for for Skype when I should be looking for Teams. How you doing?
I'm doing well, sir. How about yourself?
I'm blessed by the Almighty, young man. So many things are going on in the earth. So many things going on in the earth. A lot of positive when it comes to what the Most High is doing with prophecies. But there's a lot of tragedy that's happening in the earth simultaneously. And I thought that I would use this particular broadcast to encourage brothers and sisters and help people understand, to make sense of the confusion that's being thrown from every direction at us, from every direction. So, right. 1 second. Let me slide this over here. There. Yeah, that's, hold on. Yeah, this is good. It's almost like we're in the same room, young man, right now.
Yes, sir. Yes, indeed.
All right. I'm kind of feeling this right now. Before we start discussing what I've actually put together, Elder Lawyer, let me make a quick announcement for those who are coming in. Right? Let me make a quick announcement right here. Just a very, very quick announcement here. Yeah, the brother Jimmy did a great job also with that new video. I'm going to bring him on a little later. Actually, he did a great job, brother, in New York. We have some talented people in this church, I'll tell you that. Talented people. Let's do it like that. Yeah, that's better. That is better. All right. There we go. All right, let me just make an announcement real quick so we can jump right on in it. I know brothers and sisters are chopping at the bit with this topic so pronounced this evening, folks. So let's jump right into it. Beginning June 1st will be the next installment of our Hebrew and Bible Academy, and for the first time themed From Babylon, Rome to America. From Babylon, Rome to America is the next Hebrew and Bible Academy starting June 1st. Every Sunday, for those who don't know, the Hebrew and Bible Academy is the place to be. Real-time news through a biblical perspective with Shapat and I. Elder Lawyer does a great job. Hebrew 101, conversational Hebrew, understanding the original language, the ancient Phoenician Hebrew. Now, is what the European Jews and others in Israel today, are they speaking Hebrew? Yes, they're speaking a dialect of Hebrew, but it's not the original language. It's not the original. It doesn't have the same force as the original Hebrew, and that's what's taught here in our Hebrew and Bible Academy by Elder Lawyer. Also, right after that, we have, the lessons. Okay, we have the lessons. We'll have it where you can view the lessons up to 30 days now. And we have a brand new theme. From Babylon, Rome to America will be the theme. From Nimrod to Elon Musk. The spirit of Babylon, how it moved from the tower all the way up until our present time, folks. And keep in mind, what Nimrod tried to build back then has been accomplished under Esau's order. So we're going to show you the religion that moved from the tower, was scattered throughout all the Gentile nations, and moved to the Roman Empire to present day America. We're going to also show you the technology, the plan that they have, the elite being Luciferians to accomplish what Nimrod couldn't. That and more you'll find out in the Hebrew and Bible Academy, From Babylon, Rome to America. Don't buy in when people try to claim or try to lie with this madness, claiming they don't believe the Bible, when they try to claim they're atheists. These people are liars. Okay? Babylon just wasn't a government. It was a belief system. Okay? And why do I say push back when people claim they don't believe? They'll always go back to Asian ideology or alternative thoughts of government and religious practices, linking right back to the Mesopotamian area. So you can't claim that you don't believe in the Bible when you are practicing what the Bible identified as Nimrod's religion. Okay? Even if you're doing it without the knowledge of doing it without knowing exactly what you're practicing. If you go back to any Asian ideology, it started back at the Tower of Babel. So you can claim you're atheist, but you're still practicing something that came through that religion. You're still religious. So the problem, Elder Lawyer, they have with the Bible is that the Bible points out their practices as evil. That's the problem. And their core belief system is identified through the Bible, hence the reason they try to downplay the Bible's significance. Right? So again, even these, I hear these atheists talking about, it's about what you put out into the universe. Where do you get that thought process of the universe out there? Of this universal spiritual connection outside of the Bible. Where was that thought implanted? If it wasn't what? An original religion ideology that was implanted within the earth. But that, I'm going to go into that. You can't hide no more. We're going to identify that people are playing dumb. They're Satanists, hiding under different ideologies and religions. Okay? Babylon, Rome to America will be the topic. For the first time, we'll be having many new lessons in the academy. New prophetic teachings, Hebrew language skills and tools, certificate upon completion, live interaction Q&As, and for those who enroll before the end of the month, we'll give you the great lesson we've done for the first time, the fall of Adam. Okay? The history of the Tower of Babel, the secret war of Edom against the Israelites, the invisible man, Esau, who hide himself amongst all people, will be identified, and we're going to go into all the ancient records and the historical records and show you this secret war that had been waged against us up until this time. How to calculate time according to the Bible, according to Jubilees. The desolation of abominations, which we're heading up to an apex with that particular prophecy as we speak. The desolation isn't over. It just begun, folks. A nest above the stars, Satan's space program. Going into the space program in UFOs. The final battle of Armageddon. Covenant under fire. Will your marriage stand? Will marriage stand? Well, that and more we'll unpack in the next Hebrew and Bible Academy, brothers and sisters. And I hope, even for those who have never enrolled before, do this. I'm going to tell you, you'll thank us at the end of it. Keep in mind, with the resources we bring forth, the studies we've put together, copious time, serious time put into the studies, all given to you to build on your biblical knowledge. Okay? We give you the resources and all that to back everything we teach. And it's confirmed by history, archaeology, and the Bible. Lincoln precepts according to the original doctrine given us since the beginning. That's what this Hebrew and Bible Academy is. And you'll thank us, because guess what? You'll never get this much information in 3 months for only $150. Okay? We have never went up on the price of the academy, even though it cost us serious money to do it. We never increased the price, knowing that our people really don't have it like that. Okay? So it's only $150 for 3 months, but it's more knowledge and information that you'll never obtain this amount of information naturally in a lifetime. And I'm talking about 3 months of serious information. You're not going to accumulate this information in a lifetime, and that's guaranteed. And we're talking about 3 months of teaching. So come through. It's the most fun you'll have learning the Bible, and you'll learn the true doctrine. And guess what? We understand that we all come from different walks of life. We come from different religious thoughts and all that. We came out of different sects. So I understand this, right? So again, we open it up for questions. We don't mind people asking questions and challenging the doctrine that the Most High have given us. You're going to have an alternative thought because we were brought up under a different ideology. Well, we as teachers are patient enough to listen to what you believe, to understand whether or not it's true or not, and to give you what? To edify to you correctly what the Bible is saying, regardless of whether or not you agree with us or not. Okay? We're open for people to question what we're saying, as long as it's in good faith, to come out with what? An equal consensus, one accord at the end of the Q&A. So you get that interaction also. So go to historytimes.org to enroll. Again, it starts June 1st, and I hope to see you there. Elder Lawyer.
Yes, sir.
Let's jump right in. Overcoming the death jaws of Babylon. I believe this is an excellent lesson to go into, especially with the theme from Babylon, Rome to America coming in a few weeks, all right? How to escape or overcoming the death jaws of Babylon when we are being attacked on every side, in every area imaginable. How can we escape it? Right? Now, it's a simple answer to it, but are we willing to do it? But first, one must understand, what are we up against? And how is Satan waging spiritual warfare against us unknowingly? Right? And what I like to do, and I use some of these examples, maybe, Elder Lawyer, it's the old Southern blood in me growing up with my father. And I believe that this is something that this generation sorely is affected by, not having stories and that dynamic of your father framing his upbringing and the family line and where you come from and the challenges he had to overcome in order for us to be sitting on our father's knee, right? So I think it's that Southern thing in me to always go back in comparison. Why? Because this generation don't know what they don't know. And it was very important for the fathers to instill that history and that time period that they lived through their prime in their children, so that the children can pick up from where their parents left off. But now it seems as if this generation is just operating from the seat of their pants, with no foundation, nothing to honor and honor and to uphold. Right? Nothing to honor, because if you don't have no history concerning what you must honor, then there's nothing to uphold. No integrity. And then it's a shame because this generation is being inundated, especially children, from every side. And I'm speaking of influence. Influence. They have a level of influence, being influenced from the outside of their homes, that none of us, not me coming up, right? We couldn't have imagined having access to the whole world at our fingertips in grade school or in middle school or high school, where it takes the influence and power of the parents out of the house. And now the parents must fight against the world to keep what's precious, what belongs to them, safe. But guess what? Satan made it that way. And we're going to break down the science. We even going to bring in the P. Diddy situation tonight because it's relevant. That's not what most people think it is. The only way to quantify us being inundated with information attacking us from either side, we must go to the Bible to identify how Satan attacks. Folks, everything that's given us through the media, even these trials and all these others, folks, are a part of the control mechanism. Okay, it's a part of it. And we're going to make sense of it tonight with overcoming the death jaws of Babylon. Overcoming it. Right? Now, before I go there, I would like to talk about, I mentioned, right, when I was growing up, usually it was usually during holidays before I found the truth, where our family had a chance to slow down. Either after Sunday church, we would eat downstairs Sunday and come back home. My mother would always make something every Sunday for everyone to eat. The whole block could eat on Sundays. And this is where, when my father come home, if he didn't get in a fight outside or something, because he was in it. Right? That he would, if he see us sitting around not doing nothing, he felt an interest to engage, to instill something in us for that moment, right? Come on, let me talk to y'all real quick. Let me tell y'all about, and I'm like, man, listen, I can't find my bus tokens or whatever the case is. Boy, you talking about bus tokens. I walked to school uphill 5 miles with cardboard in my shoes. That's an actual line from my father. Talking about bus tokens. Work those calves, boy. Work those legs. Right? But anyway, he would always instill something in us, a story that lead to us having some level of integrity or honor. Doesn't matter. It could be just any story, but it'd be something where it holds us responsible to some degree. And through that responsibility, it felt like the end of the world if we disappointed our parents. See, when he instilled those stories in us, right? I would think, well, one day I would like to stand on this integrity so that I can instill this in the future and hold the legacy so my father, my mother isn't forgotten. So what am I saying in a nutshell? That was our cell phone, right? That was our way of understanding what honor is, or getting information and what values to hold to. That was our cell phone. Our family was our cell phone. What the cell phone have replaced family. Now we care more about what our friends think, the peer pressure of the world, and how we'll be viewed online than whether or not there's integrity in the home. And this was their plan. And I'm going to talk about it today. This was their plan in Babylon. Babylon, what happened at the Tower of Babel? Confusion. But folks, confusion orchestrated by the elite is necessary. It may seem confusing to us. Lord, what's going on in the world? This world done gone to hell. We don't know what's going on. And there's somebody sitting at the top of all this, Satan and the elite is looking at it, and let me tell you, it's crystal clear to them. Because it's chaos that they've organized. It's organized chaos. Order out of chaos. Because through chaos, they'll lead you what? They'll lead you to their final outcome. So it's upon us to step out and understand, okay, what is this? What is it all about? So hopefully this particular broadcast today can help you all spiritually make sense of everything. And it's really, the chaos is really about what? Turning everyone against everyone. In a nutshell, the proper order of things must be turned upside down.
That's right.
See? Now, for those who turned it upside down, they can make sense of it because it's a useful tool to turn things upside down for them. Why? Because they have mechanisms there that we must run to fix ourselves. See how it works? They create the mental illness and become your psychiatrist. They create the family issues through dividing the family, and they become your marriage counselors. Who knows? They can get you a little sicky sick, and they'll become your doctors. But the only way to do it, Satan must do what? The reverse of the Most High. The Most High is about order, righteousness, honor. Satan is about control. Why? He's losing power. So mental illness, sickness, all these things are dynamics from Satan himself. It's the Babylonian way to control the populations of the earth. And there's only one way to escape it. Elder Lawyer, if you will.
Yes, sir.
Let's first go to, let me grab a Bible up real quick here. And I have a few videos I need to play. And again, it's fair use for educational purposes only. Please don't call the phone number you see on the screen. That will be text only, which means if you would like us to call you back, text us on the line and we'll call you back from that on that number when the line opens, when the queue opens. Text your name and state what you would like to talk about, and we'll call you back once the queue is open, right? So let's talk about this. Babylon the Great. Let's go into, Elder Lawyer, if you will, Revelation 18th chapter. Hold on, let me grab here to make sure I have us. Yeah, hold on, let me put this straight first. Yeah. That's it. All right, Elder Lawyer, let me go here and pull up a Bible. And thank you for your presence. And do us a favor, brothers and sisters, while I'm pulling this up, if you will. Help us out. And please hit the like button as you file into this particular broadcast. We have a lot. I mean, of course, I'm going to show you what's going on truly with P. Diddy and how this all comes into effect. Jay-Z, all of that. It's all within this particular broadcast. And I'm going to show you the truth about it all to make what? To make sense of the programming Satan utilizes to control each generation, to skip over the parents to control the children. Okay, all of this is in play. And they got P. Diddy out there, and right now, a lot of people don't know what that's about. You're going to find out tonight what's that about, what really that's all about. Okay, and it's deeper than a lot of you think it is. And we're going to talk about that, not the trial in of itself. The reason they have this in place for programming the youth. And we're going to talk about that. Revelation 18:1. Let's read it.
Yes, sir. Revelation 18, verse 1. And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils.
It has become what?
The habitation of devils.
It says Babylon the Great. Listen to this. Is fallen. Now understand that most people think that it's going to be a time where America just won't exist at all. Well, that won't happen until what? Until Christ returns. But I'll tell you this, it's not going to be inhabitable after the war. Only certain areas of the United States will be inhabitable. So when it says Babylon the Great is fallen, it's fallen. Folks, America is all the empires wrapped up into one. America has become what Nimrod couldn't accomplish. All nations under one ideology against our God. And it's about putting what? The people of the earth in a level of servitude so that Satan can use them to accomplish what he needs to accomplish in the earth, where the whole earth serves him. Okay, that's how it works. Now, the benefit for the nations who agree with this particular program against our God, well, they get a benefit. Their benefit is that they get the opportunity to rule over God's people who are currently under a curse. So you want to know why the other nations are on board with this? Well, they at least get the opportunity to show power over the children of Israel as taskmasters. That's how it works. And folks, it have been this way since the children of Israel, since our people fell. It's been this way. And the other nations know it, that they have a certain entitlement over us. Even if they didn't fight in one war to defend this country. Even if their blood haven't spilt in the soil, fighting for justice and all these others that have given all these others an opportunity. They can come off the plane into Babylon and know they can come from a dirt road in India. And the first day in America, they'll already believe that they're entitled above you. That's the curse. They know it. That our God said that if we disobeyed the law, that he would put us under all nations. So they can be nothing. They can be they can have their hand pulling dung out of cows behind in India and come over here first day in America and know that they have more rights and more protections and more access to the glory of Babylon than Judah. Understand what we're up against here. So when it says Babylon the Great is fallen, it's fallen. It's speaking of that construct, that ideology. Because that mindset, what Babylon is a construct built against our God, and it's built on the bodies of Hebrews, just like Egypt. Listen to what I'm going to show you. And he cried mightily with a strong voice. And it says, Babylon the Great is fallen, is fallen. It's become what?
The habitation of devils.
Now, I need y'all to check that out, folks. How has America become the habitation of devils? Now, folks, Babylon is a concept. It's a religion. It's a government control over people. So it's not just America, folks. America is what? America is the crown jewel of Babylon. Above all of the countries that are controlled the same way. What they've done here, they've done in Jamaica, they've done in Africa, they've done in England. Babylon the Great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils. Well, how have America or these countries become the habitation of devils? Because when the nations come over, they bring their gods with them. They bring their rituals and their religions with them. If we knew better as a people, when they came with this black and brown garbage, we would have told them, get the Hades away from us. Go back to where you come from. You can't relate to our struggle. The only thing you can do is come in, pillage, and take, and do what? Bring gods to rival the God of the Bible, to attack us indirectly by what? By destroying the communities, by bringing in the gods of India, the gods of China, the gods of the Middle East, the dragons of Arabia. We would have told you to take your behind somewhere else with that. But they were able to do what? They was able to play on our kindness because of who we are as a people, folks, and our belief in the Bible. They know that we are naive. We trust everyone when their religions tell them not to trust no one. We would have told them, take your Buddha, take your Shiva, take whatever you believe in, and take Oprah with you. Go back over to where you come from. They were waging spiritual warfare against the children of Judah. Why? Because they understood the prophecies of Judah rising and waking as a lion, and we would begin to awaken all of our brothers throughout the earth. They knew this. Every person. Don't forget, folks, we were almost 90% Bible believers, if not more, before the enemies came. And what our people don't realize is, folks, that Bible believing is what united us. Look at who we were as a people in our communities when we all believed in the Bible, regardless of the persuasion of Christianity. There was a hedge to a certain degree. And they came over here with their religion, the merchants. And they brought the devils with them, the devils from their country. The confusion that's within their country. And this is why they can't advance where they come from, where they were raised. The same confusion that kept them from ever advancing amongst their people is what they brought amongst us. An organized chaos. Let's talk about it. Habitation of devils, read.
And the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird.
And a what? And a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. That comes down to what? The fallen spirits, the fallen angels. Every time they come, they bring a god with them from what? From the spirits that caused the earth to be destroyed in ancient times. That's what they bring here against us. Now listen to this. For all nations, read.
For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication.
All the nations have drunk of this wine. They're all together in collusion. Don't let them fool you. When they come over into the country, folks, they already have been briefed on their position and who to oppose. They've been briefed. It's the same program over and over again since the inception of this country. They didn't bring over people who had things going on. Back in the day, back in the 1500s and 1600s, when they were bringing in boatloads of people to oppose the North American Indians and to oppose us when it came to the chattel slavery. They would bring in the poor, the dirt, the destitute of their countries, the mobs and all of that, and say, well, listen, we'll give you a clean bill of health, even though you are a criminal over here, if you help us take down the children of Israel over there. They would bring the worst criminals of any society and put them on boats, and they would empty their jails. That's how you know it's straight hypocrisy when they try to claim that, even though it's true, that criminals were led over here, Venezuelans and others, by the Biden administration. That's the hypocrisy. They were the criminals who was given opportunity to come over here and pillage and kill and do whatever they would like to do against our people. With impunity, without any negative judgment, because that's what they were sent to do. It's the same thing over and over again. They send the bottom belly of their communities, who ain't worth anything where they were, and come over here to gain riches off of the backs of us. That's the Babylonian way. They did the same thing after what? Reconstruction, when we came out of slavery. We come out of slavery, then they do what? They open up the ships and all that, and bring the poor people from Europe. The criminals from Italy, who were known mob killers and all these things, bring them in New York, cultivate them, empower them. Even the poor Irish people who was doing nothing over in Ireland, they come over here get incentivized by the government to become the police. Organized crime pushing up against us. And the only thing we were thinking is, well, we just trying to live our life, go to church, take care of our families. And they are socially engineering these people to come in to undermine and or destroy our people, knowing the prophecies. That one day the Most High is going to wake Israel up. It's like, listen, bring the worst of your people and bring the most deviant gods and evil with you. And what happens? Then in the midst of our neighborhoods now, what you will see, an uptick on HIV, an uptick on these diseases, and all these others, and no one is putting two and two together. Where's all this coming from? Did they bring this stuff to us? They brought it to the North American Indians with blankets. And then but the way the news, Elder Lawyer, the media would spin this as if there's a sexually transmitted problem amongst our people, as if we brought the diseases. And always at the end of it, well, blacks got this amount of count, HIV, AIDS, sexually transmitted disease going up. And no one is even counting or looking at the people they've pushed up amongst us from these countries. India and all these other people that's grabbing our daughters and all that and doing what they will with them. It's the same old trick. Organized chaos. And I must say this is not absolving our people. But what we're doing tonight, is making sense of the confusion. You have to understand how all the parts work so that you can decide not to be a part of it. Okay? Because the confusion is necessary for them. Because at the end of the day, who are they blaming? Even though they allow the diseases in with these other people. Right? Let's go back.
Yes, sir. It says, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies.
And it says what? The merchants of the earth. These are people who come over here and get grants and businesses against our people. They become merchants. They get grants. They get finance. And they come in with a plan to what? To make the children of Israel uncomfortable. To influence our children negatively, knowing that if they can get us out of the way, their children can now take our place. Now, when it says habitation of devils, I want to jump right to this for the sake of time, Elder Lawyer. I showed this years ago in the academy. I told everyone about CERN, but I went into details that most weren't discussing at that time. People were talking about, oh, they turning CERNs, that's why there's earthquakes. Okay, you think that's what CERN is really about? You don't have any history concerning the Tower of Babel. What is CERN? CERN is a gateway. It opens up what? A gate between the visible and the invisible. Organized chaos. Why am I going here? Well, as you can see, at CERN, outside they have what? Look at this. A big statue of Shiva, an East Indian goddess, holding the doorway between the other world and this world. Right? Let me turn this off. Come on. Holding the doorway between this world and that world. And then you see what? The modern day Druids worshiping a ritual on the outside of CERN. Babylon the Great. Babylon is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils. Well, folks, what if turning people upside down, dividing the people, making what? Functional, mentally ill people, backward people, is a necessity for them, so that what? When they allow spirits to come through this realm, they'll have host. When they do their rituals and open up this door, folks, the spirits will have host, because what? The people are mentally ill. The people are what? They're operating against God. They're against God. They're against nature, which makes their body, makes their temple host. So if they get people fighting against each other, everything is out of order, parents against children, children against parents, husband against wife, and all this, guess what? That's organized chaos, because we can't get together and do what's right by God. It offers hosts for them. This is organized. Okay? And once the spirits are in you, they control you through them. They'll control you through them. Fair use for educational purposes only.
Yet I still find it pretty.
Hold on, let me get here.
Captivating, so I thought I would talk about it. Chances are you've heard of CERN before, also known as the European Organization for Nuclear Research.
Fair use.
It's a physics laboratory that has the Large Hadron Collider, which is the world's largest particle accelerator. Because of some of the research done here, there have been quite a few people who believe they're trying to accomplish some evil occult-like stuff here, and a video that surfaced a while ago fueled those theories even more. In August of 2016, an allegedly leaked video was released that depicted some sort of satanic ritual at CERN. The video appears to be taken secretly from some guy looking through a window in one of the buildings. During the ritual, several people in cloaks walk up to the statue of the Hindu god Shiva. After this, a woman takes off her cloak and lies on the ground. This is followed by her being stabbed by one of the people wearing a cloak, and the guy recording flips out. I'll show you that part of the video right now, so you can judge how authentic you think it is.
Fair use. Now, this is what I want to show. I wanted Shiva out of that one. But this is the piece I need people to understand why so many people are going crazy and all these others, and no one can make sense of it, right? And I'm going to be going into this in the academy to show you that they've actually reconstructed, not allegedly, the Tower of Babel, the controlling of spirits. Hence the reason it tell you in Revelations, Babylon the Great is fallen, it become a habitation of devils. Well, if you don't know the history of ancient Babylon, that whole concept, that idea of what we're actually experiencing it's totally foreign to you. It's totally foreign if you don't know what happened in Babylon, folks. So you have pastors and preachers talking about Revelations and Babylon, but don't even understand what they're up against. The healthcare system, all of this is together. It's all intertwined for control of people. Control of people. Listen to this. Fair use, educational purposes only. Scientists are terrified after what happened at CERN. Folks, we're talking about over 8 years ago that I started showing people the rituals they were doing at CERN, these crazy people. Looking like crazy goth, occult, satanic liberals, the people you see marching down the street with flags with them.
Further data analysis, it may be able to move out of the red zone and into the end zone.
Fair use.
But it's still high enough to inspire optimism.
For educational
If that's
purposes
the case,
only.
the peculiar decay pattern may provide the initial look at the novel physics that everyone is seeking. On the other hand, are CERN and the Large Hadron Collider involved in experiments that could destroy our planet? In the early 2000s, while the collider was facing delays and failures, some speculated that a time traveler from the future could be going back in time to sabotage it on purpose to avoid a catastrophe. The collider was turned on in 2012, despite this purported time traveler's best
2012, it was turned on.
efforts, which included a time-traveling bird with a baguette. Some think CERN is to blame for earthquakes because it transports plasma at high speeds from Switzerland to Italy, while others say it opens gateways to hell or other realms and switches the globe to a different timeline.
It opens gateways to hell.
Even more shockingly, CERN acknowledged in 2015 that it had tried to generate miniaturized black holes in order to research antimatter. Though some theorists worry it would lead to the cosmos collapsing, CERN maintains their research, even on small black holes, is entirely safe. So what else are the physicists and scientists at CERN getting up to in Switzerland? Could any of these speculations that its work could destroy the universe be true? And if so, why do they continue?
So why is it necessary for Europe to have CERN? Right? Why is it necessary? The scientists. Folks, this is what? This is opening the doorway for spirits, demons, led through Lucifer. These are Luciferians. In a last-ditch effort to control the people because they can no longer control the information. The children of Israel has awakened. So this is what? This is their last-ditch effort to control people. I'm going to tell you that right now. To do what? Against the awakening, our people. Folks, if the children of Israel no longer serve these nations, the whole world's economy collapses. The whole thing was built off of the children of Israel curses and us staying permanently at the bottom. Understand this. So now with the science they're using, this is their last play through divide and conquer, using spiritual machines and all these others to keep us entrenched at the bottom. Let me show you this.
The LHC is not designed for immediate practical benefits, despite the fact that it comes with a gigantic price tag and the participation of nations. Rather, it awakens a sense of wonder and intrigue in people. In pursuit of revolutionary discoveries throughout its vast length, thousands of scientists from around the world work together and compete. Although the LHC may not be immediately useful, its promise of greater understanding is what makes it worthwhile for both them and the rest of us.
Now check this out. There's a lot I'm going to show later, right? But check out what your man Elon Musk said. And we're going to be talking about him soon. Elon Musk, elder lawyer, he got on what's the guy's name? Joe Rogan's program. And he said what? He said CERN, right? He called CERN a death machine. He also said that what? Elon Musk seeks access to what? A demonic technology. That the collider is a demon technology. And he was vying through the EU and others to get access to it. He said it on Joe Rogan that this is how they can control people. Through demonic technology. Now, how does this transfer to what they're doing over there with the science? And how does this affect us? We need to get out of this CERN, earthquakes, and all these others, because we know this is probably a byproduct with this science they're doing, messing up everything. But what we've been ignoring is the psychological impact this machine has had on the world since they turned it on in 2012. Right? Now, the Tower of Babel and the Hadron Collider. Civilization's final attempt to play God. You don't hear anyone talking about this. You don't hear anyone comparing what the EU and the world powers who are Luciferians have come together to do as a form of control for what? The mass, every so-called human on earth needs to be controlled. And this is where some of the dynamics when it comes to the, who knows, the jabby or whatever the case is. I can't talk about that here. And another reason why the world is losing their minds. The world is losing their minds. Now, this brings in a comparison through the technology of the Tower of Babel, what their plan was in this article here, and how they were able to accomplish it in our time. But they couldn't accomplish it unless what? Elder Lawyer? They couldn't accomplish it unless the people decided to walk away from God, organized family. See? The traditional values that were instilled. They would have to walk away from that to be accepted at the tower. When you go into the history, of course, I'm going to talk about that in the academy. Who is the God of the Tower of Babel? Satan. Listen to this clearly. How does Satan get what? Servants to build his construct. Let me show you. He must first separate you from God. Well, don't believe that Bible. The Bible's tampered with. There's other religions, all that others. There's many ways to God outside of the Bible. The Bible is what? The public enemy number one is the Bible. You must get the Bible out of the way. The Bible is the only book that identifies what they're doing scientifically. Number one. Let me show you how Satan, I'm going to show you. Elder Lawyer, I need you real quick. I have them written down here. I need you real quick to go to 2 Corinthians 12 and 5. Right?
Yes, sir.
And before you get let me get this. Before you get that, I need you to also get, there's a few here concerning who's the children of the Most High and the children of Satan in John. You got that one?
Let me get it. The Epistle of John.
Yes. I'm receiving your messages. Just hold tight on your messages. Yeah, where it talks about those. Let's go to Romans 6, the 6th chapter. And then we get Romans 6. Excellent. And you already have the one I had in 2 Corinthians, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's get let's get Romans 6. And then we're going to go into who is the sons of the Most High in 1 John. And who's the sons of the devil. Let's go to Romans 6. You have it?
Yes, sir.
Romans 6. Let me get it here. Let's go to Romans 6. And let's start at about the 15th verse.
Yes, sir. The book of Romans 6 and verse number 15. What then? Shall we sin because we are not under the law, but under grace?
Shall we sin?
John?
Shall we sin because we are not under the law, but under grace? God forbid. Now, what is sin? Sin, listen to this clearly, folks. We're breaking it down to how Satan gets servants. How Satan can have hosts for these spirits to enter at the very end. Sin is a transgression of God's law. Right? The first sin is going way back to where? The disobedience that happened in the garden. The forbidden fruit. Well, for taking the forbidden fruit, Adam and Eve became Satan's servants. See how it works? What then? Shall we sin because we are not under the law, but under grace? So just because we're not punished immediately for breaking God's law, Christ gave us grace, right? Christ gave us an opportunity to fix ourselves before the judgment. So because we have this grace, Paul is asking, should we sin on purpose? God forbid. Let's read it.
Know ye not that to whom ye yield yourselves servants to obey, his servants ye are to whom ye obey, whether of sin unto death or of obedience unto righteousness?
So we're either serving what? Sin unto death. Death came in with what? You got it. The disobedience in the garden. Death is the curse. Whether of sin unto death or obedience unto righteousness. So it's upon what? The Luciferians to push sin. See that? Sin gives them willing servants. That's how the tower works. If you disobey God and you are against the God of the Bible, the God that confused or destroyed the tower, if you are against that God, You are a what? Obedient servant to Satan. Read.
Verse number 17. But God be thanked that ye were the servants of sin.
We were the
but ye-
servants of sin in the world. Read.
But ye have obeyed from the heart that form of doctrine which was delivered you.
So there's a way to be delivered, right? From this bondage of sin. Automatically, even if you don't think you're being controlled, if you are serving sin, something is in you controlling you. That's leading you somewhere, whether you believe it or not. Right? And it leads everyone, like it did in the past, to that tower. At the tower, it's all nations together in agreement against our God to destroy our people. See how it works? Doesn't matter what race you are. Our people are participants in this destruction against our own people, working against ourselves by joining the Gentiles at the tower. Right? Now, there's one thing I wanted to bring out. Right? You have the one in John that I wanted, or you need me to look at it? In First John.
I believe I have it.
Let's get it.
Yes, sir. 1 John 3.
1 John, that's it. 1 John 3. Let's go.
All right. 1 John chapter 3. I started verse 4.
Let's read it.
Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law, for sin is the transgression of the law.
Sin is the transgression of the law. Right? Laws are the simple to traditional universal laws for men. The laws given to Moses. These are the laws that makes us servant to who? To our Creator. We're his, now we're serving his kingdom. We're serving the righteous side. Right? The law gives us what? Connection to the Father. With that connection, brothers and sisters, comes a hedge of protection against our enemies. Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law. For what?
For sin is the transgression of the law.
That's what sin is. So what? What would this world promote as a mechanism for control over our people? Sin. They were promoted. They would incentivize it. Right? They would incentivize sin. In exchange for what? Pushing sin on the people, we get willing servants. Not just the people who are sinning, but their children. The dysfunction from the sin makes orphans. Now they have to give it back to the government, and now they can program a broke child to become a servant to the system. See? And it becomes what? A cycle. Sin makes willing servants. And that's what you do. They have to systematically put this in place at a time when God is calling back his people. They have to use these serious evil tactics, knowing that they're losing control over our people. So what are they doing? Let's just throw sin from every area against them. That's the only way, more servants can shake loose that now the devil can use for his will in the earth. Read it again, that last piece.
Yes, sir. 1 John 3 and 4. Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law.
For sin is what?
For sin is the transgression of the law.
Read it through.
And ye know that he was manifested to take away our sins, and in him is no sin. Whosoever abideth in him sinneth not. Whosoever sinneth have not seen him, neither known him. Little children, let no man deceive you. He that doeth righteousness is righteous, even as he is righteous. He that committeth sin is of the devil.
He that committeth sin is of the devil. See? Sin is a transgression of the laws given to us through Moses. You violate those and automatically become what? A servant to Satan. See, it's systematic. Read, for what?
For the devil sinneth from the beginning. For this purpose the Son of God was manifested, that he might destroy the works of the devil. Whosoever is born of God doth not commit sin, for his seed remaineth in him, and he cannot sin, because he is born of God.
And he cannot sin because he is born of the Almighty. This person has a conscience towards doing what's right according to the laws written, not according to the universe, or not according to your the God consciousness. It's according to the laws that are written. If you or we intentionally break these laws, automatically that person becomes a servant or what? A potential or future host for the controlled chaos, the demons they've let loose on earth. Let me show you how it works in a nutshell, right? And then we're going to go back. We're going to go back and we're going to go into now what must we do to protect ourselves, knowing there's an attack from every side. And that attack from every side is what Christ described what we would be going through in the very end. And there will, and there's another point. At the end of it, there will be a need to be saved out of it. If you make a world of functional crazy people who have accepted sin and have become host, folks, we're talking about real life, the walking dead. Crazy people that at any time can take someone out. Is the society Satan created intentionally where the children of Israel lives. So how does it work? We told you years ago in 2012 that they turned on CERN. One of the scientists at CERN was looking, it was like some water stuff, he was saying, and there was demons on the other side of this water gate, he was saying, and he turned it back off. It scared the mess out of it. They told him he was doing one thing, but when he turned it on, he seen spirits and all that on the other side, like this water gate, and turned it back off. Like, what are we doing here? Releasing spirits. All these Luciferians that are over governments. We're speaking of dark spirits that control the elite within the earth, who will do anything to keep power. And the only power they have received is the fact that our people sinned against God and was put under a temporal curse. And now they understand the curse is almost up, and they're doing everything to keep their power over us. No servants, no kingdom for them. And now you got Israelites everywhere. Even the other nations are coming out telling the truth concerning who we are now. And now they've ramped up sin. They've ramped it up. They've turned it all the way up and saying, listen, it's sin that gave us power over these people. And if we don't promote sin amongst these people, their God is going to release them. And one day, according to the prophecies, we'll have to serve them. So they have cut hell loose on earth and aimed it towards us. Aimed it towards us. Like we see this Shiva, this CERN. Right? The goddess of the gateway between the dark world and this world is right outside of CERN. They know exactly what they're doing here. Hit that like button for us. Now, where do we come in? Because we're just trying to mind our business, right? Why is it that they have to focus all this stuff against us? Right? Well, and why, another thing, because this is what they'll do. They try to blame God for everything, these atheists. Well, why would God allow this? Why don't he just destroy Satan and get rid of everything already? Right? If your God is all powerful, why is he allowing it? Well, that can easily be answered. Okay? He gave man free will. Once Adam and Eve sinned, the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. The fallen ones, Lucifer is the higher power on this earth, the prince of this world, was given power that he would rule over the disobedient against God until the final judgment, where he's destroyed and those who followed him are destroyed with him. See how it works? So those, man, well, why God just don't destroy Satan? Well, because we yielded power to Satan, Satan was given dominion over this realm. And because disobedience have come into the world, those who choose him above our God will face the judgment with Satan, their father. See? There's a process here. So the Most High is not going to come down and get rid of Satan because you said so. Satan has a function in this order. See? Satan has a function in this order. And guess what? Even Paul talked about it. Let's get it real quick, Elder Lawyer. 2 Corinthians 12. 2 Corinthians 12. And let's go to 5. Why? Listen to this.
Yes, sir. 2 Corinthians 12 and 5.
Well, before we go there, let me say this. Paul, before Christ met him at the road of Damascus, before Paul's conversion, Paul gave our people hell. Christ had to intervene with Paul because Paul was, number one, Paul thought he was right. He thought he was standing on Moses' law as Pharisee, seeking to destroy any advancements any advancements we would make as a people under Christ's ministry. Paul was there at every angle to stop the advancement of Christ's ministry. Right? So Christ met him on the road to Damascus and said, man, why are you kicking against the pricks here? You know, I did this for you too. You're harming our people. Similar to how the government hire people in position to intentionally harm and or keep us on the bottom. If only the government would just throw them a few crumbs, they'll keep the status quo in place. The status quo stays in place. This is what happened with Paul, folks. This is why Christ had to meet Paul. So you see our politicians? Why do you think they're getting people from every other place to become our politicians? Because they are in agreement with keeping us dead on the bottom to stop the awakening. So even after Paul's conversion, he still had to deal, with a judgment to some degree for all the harm he caused our people before the conversion. Let's get there real quick, Elder Lloyd. Let's go to 2 Corinthians, the 12th chapter, and let's read the 5th verse. Y'all doing a great job.
Sir.
Y'all doing a great job. I got a few more. I'm going to show y'all, because then we're going into the programming. The programming of the people who can now and then be controlled. Hence the reason we have the music business. Hence the music, we have all of this out here to influence the youth. It's all connected. But hold tight, but I need y'all to hit that like button before I pull that out. Great job, though. We're over 2,100. We're about 500 likes down. We're going to break this down from the bottom to the top, so there's no questions concerning that spirit of Babylon. How to overcome the death jaws of Babylon is what we're talking about this evening. They have let loose hell on earth already. Hell on earth. There's spirits all over the place, but they cannot get a host unless one is subjected to sin. Let's read it, Elder Lawyer.
Yes, sir. 2 Corinthians 12 and 5. Of such an one will I glory, yet of myself I will not glory, but in mine infirmities.
So Paul says that I will what? I will glory in my infirmities. Read.
For though I would desire to glory, I should not be a fool. For I will say the truth, but now I forbear lest any man should think of me above that which he seeth me to be.
Read.
Or that he heareth of me. Unless I should be exalted above measure through the abundance of the revelation.
It says, unless I should be exalted above measure through the abundance of revelations, which what? People would begin to exalt Paul as a god. Okay? Even some of the Romans wanted to uphold him as such, based on the power and influence he had, the miracles he was performing, the influence to gather people to come into Christ and to do what? And walk away from sin. He says, listen, unless I should be exalted above measure through the abundance of the revelations, what the Most High revealed to me to show people. There was what?
Mm-hmm. There was given to me a thorn in the flesh.
There was given to Paul a thorn in the flesh. Now check this out. Read.
The messenger of Satan to buffet me.
The messenger of Satan to buffet me. So anything negative that's happening to a person, debilitating or sickness or whatever the case is, that's Satan's function. See? So the Most High allowed Satan to buffet him. Why?
Lest I should be exalted above measure.
Lest I should be exalted above measure. He had a thorn in the flesh. It could have been a sickness, whatever the case is. But that's under what? Satan's wheelhouse. Sicknesses that lead to death or whatever the case is. So Paul had a continual reminder of the pain that he caused our people before Christ interacted with him. And guess what? Him living was grace. Based on what Paul was doing against our people, the laws even under the Pharisees would mean that he would be put to death. So why am I going here? I'm showing you how it works in the spiritual realm. When it comes to sicknesses and all of that. A matter of fact, finish reading.
Yes, sir.
8.
Verse 8. For this thing I besought the Lord thrice, that it might depart from me.
Paul prayed three times with all the work he was doing to ask the Most High to heal him from Satan attacking him and buffeting him. He's like, listen, I'm doing the work. What's going on? He prayed 3 times, Lord, just have Satan go somewhere else. Leave me alone. Read.
Verse 9. And he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee.
Christ told him. Christ spoke to him. My grace is sufficient for thee. What's going on with you, Paul? Christ told him is grace. Read.
For my strength is made perfect in weakness.
My strength is made perfect in your weakness. When people see what you're doing, Paul, they're going to know it must be me. Mm-hmm. They're going to know that what you're dealing with, you being what? A wretched man, subjected to fault, hurt, sick, whatever the case is, any power that comes from you, they'll know it's me. But what did I want to actually highlight here? A place where Christ is working and Satan is working too. See? When it comes to ailments and attacks, death, Satan have agents under him for this. And here's an example of Paul praying to Christ to deliver him from this. But guess what, folks? Paul knew that Christ had the power to deliver him from it. So if we know that the agents are throwing spirits at us, that they're using their science and all of this, how can we stay protected so we're not what? Moved to yield our members to become sons and daughters of Satan. How do we do this? Right? Well, this is how. Order. It's the only way. Chaos is how Satan gains servants. He must turn people against each other. So we must become what? We must fall in order to be protected. All the way. And I'm going to show you how we do this in one moment. 1 second. Be right back in a minute and 20 seconds. The Bible. Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that He used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book. And the truth will make you free. The Hebrew and Bible Academy. You're invited. Hebrew and Bible Academy, you are invited June 1st. I would like to see you there. Go to historytimes.org to enroll. So how did we get here? How did we get here? Right? And what do I mean by that? A world of straight evil and disobedience against God, where everyone is out of order. Everyone is out of order. How do we get here? See, understand how Satan works. Chaos gives the elite control over a mass population. Chaos. Well, how do you control a mass population? Through chaos. Well, if people are against the law of God, they become hosts for demons. Well, if you now have the demons in you, you are now controlled by the priest of Satan. It's quite that simple. I gave an example earlier concerning the forms of control, how Satan was able to set this up. And they must do this when you're dealing with a world with billions of people on it. So according to them, this is a necessary evil for them to cause chaos. See? They need to cause mental illness. Right? And really, mental illness, in a nutshell, is when people operate outside of God's way. That's mental illness. When there's role reversals, men acting like women, women acting like men, mental illness. Everything turned upside down, where the man has no power and the woman has all the power. Both of them mentally ill. Doesn't matter the dynamics of what the government is doing. It's what you're willing to accept. See? A man can keep his integrity and honor in place regardless of whether or not he has money or status according to this world. Right? Children overrunning their parents, and parents allowing their children to overrun them like they're the children. See? All of them are mentally ill.
That's right.
That's what mental illness is. All this high diagnosis in the study of the brain and neurology and all these other stuff, it's quite simple, folks. Mental illness is when we're operating against the values set up within the book. Usually that's what makes us depressed. That's what makes us, a lot of people have to go take psychotropics and all these others. And I wouldn't never advise that. That's what makes people unhappy at the end of their life when they knew that they could have done it one way and was working what? Against God. That's what mental illness is, folks. But mental illness is a necessity for Satan. It's a necessity. Because this is how he get what? This is how he gets servants. children to do his bidding on earth. And this is why Christ said this. Right? How did we get here? Well, Elder Lawyer, if you will, let's go to Matthew 10 real quick.
Yes, sir.
Matthew 10. And let's go to the 34th verse, if you will.
Yes, sir. St. Matthew 10 and 34.
Okay.
Think not that I'm come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword.
So now Christ is saying, I'm dividing here. Now you think Christ would be dividing a traditional, functional family that's following the orders according to the Almighty? Right? So suppose a child doesn't want to honor their mother and father and want to do what they want to do. When the father and mother is doing everything they can for the children, but yet the children are in rebellion. Well, suppose there's a situation where the house is out of order, where the man is out of order and the woman is out of order, and no one wants to operate in the functional roles God gave them from the beginning. And everyone think they're right. And everyone will bring an excuse to why they're operating anti-God. A woman want to run a man. A man want to sit there and be a cuck up under a woman and not stand as a man. You know what the Most High do? He'll start bringing division. And see, everyone is talking about the divorce rates and all that, and no one is looking at what's going on in the spiritual realm. There's a dividing going on. And I'm going to tell y'all right now, when there's a dividing going on, it's no different than Moses drawing a line in the sand so that everybody can be on the side of the judgment they chose. So sometimes we like to fight against the division. We're like, well, no, let it go down. Because whoever don't want to be right, they'll be consumed. And I'm going to tell you what happens when now we're faced with our actions that's causing the demise of our community as a people. Usually it comes to where we can actually talk about or give an excuse to why the dysfunction still exists instead of owning our part of it. See? If we own, that means we're confessing. But usually instead of, it feels so horrible knowing that we had a hand in our own demise. We aren't willing to admit our hand in it. We'd rather have an excuse so not to solve it. So Christ is like, you know what? You all too weak to do it. I'm going to divide you. Listen to this. Let's read it.
Yes, sir. For I'm come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household.
Most people were confused when they first read this scripture. It would confuse people who didn't understand why Christ is making this statement. If Christ is about love and family, why is he separating family? It have to be more nuanced than this, right? Now, in the context of what I showed, you have people who would choose chaos, disorder against the regular order. In that context, we're able to understand what Christ is saying here. Think not that I've come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. I'm divided. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father. Why? Either the child is off or the father's off. And the daughter against her mother. See? You can have a situation where now the daughter's running the house and disrespecting the mother. And and Christ is like, man, I'm not dealing with this embarrassment no more. This ain't the family my father intended. We separate. Who out of these two girls, these two women want to be right? I'm dividing them and I'm taking one of them for me. The one that wants to be right, and if there's a daughter giving a mother hell, if there's a daughter blaming the mother for everything, coming down and she can't do nothing right, and now making the mother feel bad to the point where now the daughter have taken authority over her mother, made the mother feel so bad. Christ have to step in. Say, nah, I'm going to separate this. That's still your mother. You're not going to now make your mother your daughter because you got a little education or whatever the case is. And now I'm thinking you can tell her what to do. That's your mother. So Christ comes in and divide that. Same thing with the father. Listen, I don't care how much education my sons get. They'll always be at my step getting wisdom, because the wisdom that we have in this Bible, they can't get in college. I dare my son come to me, and I don't care how old they are, and try to son me, and I'm the father. But that's where Christ have to come in. Everybody's out of order, and now Christ is stepping in before the judgment. And those that are on Satan's side, Christ and the Most High is letting Satan take them. That's who you choosing. That's who you've chosen anyway, and refuse to let go. And what? And the daughter-in-law. In a man's foes, and I'm going to tell you what happens, even with children. I'm going to tell you. Let me tell you, folks, we're living in a different time. How sad this may be. You young people, listen to me good. You don't have the opportunity to make some of the mistakes we made. You being disobedient in this world when all these demons have been let loose, not listening to your mother and father will mean your life. It can come down to your life. I'm going to tell you that right now. I know some people get stubborn and be like, well, hold up. You can't tell me what to do. And then the phones have made everyone smarter than their parents all of a sudden. And now you want to go out and do what you want to do? Not in this world. You go against your parents, there's a judgment. And that's what people don't realize. Folks, right now we're living in a world filled with strangers we didn't grow up with. The whole dynamic has changed. Somebody will snuff you out in a couple of seconds and go right back to the country they came from. And guess what? There'll be no investigation. There'll be no investigation. Be like, well, okay, we living in a world full of strangers. We're walking in the valley of the shadow of death with no protection, and the only protection we have is when our parents or when people that have the authority over us gives us advice, give you the advice on how to walk. And I'm gonna tell you, the children that aren't going to listen to their parents, they're not going to last long. They're not going to last long in the world we're living under right now. So that's what it means when it says the foes shall be they of your own household. You know why? In the household, power tripping, power struggling. No one wants to play their role. No one wants to play the role intended for them. And now the people in the household, they're enemies. Power struggling. And all of that was socially engineered into our communities. And the devil doesn't care about any of us. Our saving grace is going back to the order. He that what?
He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me.
Now, how do we unpack that in the context of Christ bringing the sword? Well, according to the order, if you know you're right and the other one is wrong, sinning against God, are you going to choose this person that's doing wrong over Christ? Is the context.
Right.
You're not worthy of me. You know this person isn't right and is breaking God's law. So then we have to understand, okay, so how do we bring this thing back in order so to be hedged through what's coming? And this is why I'm going to this P. Diddy thing in a moment. I'm going to go there in a moment into this P. Diddy thing, just a couple of seconds into it. And a matter of fact, we may, you know what? We're going to end up making this a whole Patreon because this thing is way deeper than P. Diddy. It's the image. It's everything the synagogue of Satan needed as a part of their quote unquote alleged CIA programming of the masses for our children. Who's behind it? All of that. As a matter of fact, I want to jump right here because I'm going to have to do a whole Patreon on this. But let me go to it's not what y'all think it is, folks. And I am not in defense. Let me make it clear. I'm not in defense of P. Diddy or for P. Diddy at all. But this is way deeper than a lot of people think. Folks, where did organized crime go? Organized crime morphed into the corporations. So we're witnessing what organized crime was doing, right, in secret circles years ago, decades ago, in plain sight. And I'm going to show you, but they allowed us to introduce it. They allowed us to introduce it for a purpose, knowing that what? They would need sin to be promoted for incarceration and death during a time where the Most High is communicating with the children of Israel and waking us up beyond the curse. They needed this in place, knowing the prophecy. Our sin keeps us servants to Babylon. So they must have willing participants to promote the sin, to influence the children. Sin leads to death. Through death comes the curse. And then there's a generational cycle where they'll have at least another 50 years of our people serving them. This is what they're not telling you. That what we're witnessing here is organized crime. not to say whether or not he's innocent or guilty. That's why they throw in racketeering. That's why they're throwing sex trafficking in. Because when this was the underbelly separate from us, these were the terms placed on mafia. So they're not telling you where the mafia went. Or are they? Or are they? See? Was there an agreement made with the quote unquote Godfather? So I'll go into that in a moment. So this is how we overcome all of the mental illness and dysfunction. Elder Lawyer, if you will, let's go to the book of Exodus. Folks, they're not doing anything they haven't always done. Okay, when it comes to Cassie or anything, let me tell you, there was always the pimp life, the organized crime life. There was always the women that was a part of all of that in Satan's circles. Okay, folks, we probably need to do a Patreon on that and talk about it, right? But there's no innocent party in any of that. But you know what? They all know what they signed up for. All of them. Mm-hmm. They all know what they signed up for. So this clown show they putting on, for whatever case is, I'm gonna tell you what harm it's doing more so than anything. It's introducing certain acts that a lot of our children didn't know was possible behind closed doors. So now they are indoctrinating a new crop of children with deviant behavior. They are putting this behavior in the imagination of the next generation, who will execute some of what they're hearing behind closed doors. They're creating more deviance by publicizing all of this deviant stuff that's going on. Why even put out in the public? It's so nasty and deviant. You know why? Because they know everyone have a phone, and children are impressionable. They're going to create more deviance from this. This don't have nothing to do with justice. They will create more deviance. I mean, let me tell you why. Listen, you have to think about this. They even showed it with the girl. Even after she said something happened, she's calling them up to do another one. And what they're not saying is how many girls would have rather been in line as Cassie, who, even if P. Diddy get out tomorrow, how many women will be in line again to be Cassie?
Exactly.
Come on, man. You think these men have to force women to, these men don't have to force these women to do this. You know what these women were doing before they was with these men?
Mm-hmm.
It's the life of organized crime. It's the chaos we will talk about of Babylon, and using this to program the generations into sadistic, sinful behavior. Let's go to Exodus. Let's read it. Let's
Yes,
read
sir.
it.
Exodus 20, verse 1.
Now, if you want to overcome dysfunction, this is how you do it. Read.
And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Walk away from all religions and only serve the God of the Hebrews, Ahia. And walk in the paths of his son, Christ. That's number one. So now that takes away all the confusion out there. All these crazy religions out there. Right? Confusion was at the Tower of Babel. You serving one God, I'm not involved in nothing else. That's it. I'm going to deal with this God and the laws that pertains to this God. See how it works? And by doing this, you stay rational and what? Functional. Logical. Because now you have a foundation. I don't have to be curious about Buddha, some fat little thing on somebody's shelf. No. I don't have to be curious about Allah. No. It was our God before Muhammad was born. Okay? I don't have to worry about what the spirits that the Jewish people are dealing with, the Shekinah and all this others. It goes back to Babylon goddesses and all this hot mess. I don't got to worry about that. One God, number one. Read. Let's go. Now let's go.
Thou shalt not make unto thee.
Now, no graven image. Just read it.
Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath,
so any of the,
or that is in the water.
So any of these garbage idols that are coming from Asia, we ain't down with none of them. Period. It's anti-God, anti-Christ. And take your yoga pants with you. Okay? Everything they bring, it brings what? It brings perversion. It brings perversion. No class. Man, I'm so happy I traveled around the world and see how some of these people truly live. You can't front on me no more. They come over here like as if they just came from paradise, bragging about where they come from. Thou shalt not what?
Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. For the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Verse 8.
No,
remember the Sabbath.
Let's go straight down. Thou shalt not take the Lord thy God name in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain, which means we are accountable to the rules of this God. Okay? We are accountable to him. And we have to give him the full credit for everything. We're not to deal with these Gentile gods. And see, this, I'm going to tell you why the Gentiles don't want us thinking like this. Because their worships are connected to the merchants they send over here to get paid, to use us as consumers to get paid off of. And they are afraid that if we serve our God and embolden our people, that we would start putting finances towards the people who serve our God, opposed to financing them when they don't care about us anyway. And this is what the merchants, don't forget, folks, the children of Israel, we're their greatest consumers. So they are afraid if we begin to serve our God and realize that there are aligned as political enemies against us, that the last thing I want to do is give my money to a mercenary to kill me or to undermine me and my children and my family. So that's what they are afraid of. I don't know where you come from. You're going to come over here now. Anything that's going to go to our people who've been suffering here, I must now support your businesses while y'all just dry all of our businesses up and our people are starving with nothing and have nothing to give to their children. That's what they are afraid of. When we know our God, we're going to start looking at exactly where our money's going to. Is it going to the merchants who have been incentivized to destroy us? That's number one. The Most High name is Ahia, if you want to know how to get on board with the God who made all this. He's our God, the God of the Hebrews. The same name that was revealed to Moses before deliverance. Read.
Verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
That means as of today, if I was in a Christian church, I will never step foot in a Christian church to worship on Sunday again. See, and that's how Christ bring that division we're talking about. Like, no, you know Sunday isn't the seventh day of the week. Now you have to choose the God of Sunday, which is the sun god, Nimrod and Tammuz, or choose right. You see how it takes away that mental illness now of you believing that you can dive into anything and God at the top is accepting it all. No, that's a mental illness. Find some solid ground to stand on. We're all over the place. Well, this is what the Asians believe, but this is what there's some right and there. You are confused. You're being tossed to and fro with no foundation. That's a mental illness. You are spiritually crazy. Okay? You must find one place and stand 10 toes down on it. Next one. What's the next?
12.
12. Let's read it.
Honor thy father and thy mother.
Now, hold
that
it.
thy days...
Hold on. Read that. Read it, elder.
Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee.
Which the Lord thy God giveth thee. You want to live long, you better listen to your parents. And you got Satan indoctrinating children to make them believe they know better than their parents. Let me tell you, these laws stand. Children, you listen to your parents, or your days will be cut short. That's Christ bringing that division. Oh, you want to do what you want to do. Oh, you think there's someone out there who will care more for you than your parents? Honor your mother and father. Respect your mother and father, or your days will be short. That's the Bible. And that's Christ bringing the division. Read.
13. Thou shalt not kill.
Thou shalt not kill. That's murder. And I'm going to tell you, our people don't see no worth or value in their own people. They'll very well shoot their own. Not that it's good to harm anyone. They'll shoot their own like a dog in the streets. And the Most High is bringing division for that. Judgment is coming. We're showing you all the people who are mentally ill, who now Satan is using as vessels where these demons are entering them because they are not down with what? The laws the Most High instilled for a healthy life. For us to live a healthy life. So if you're not following these, Satan now can use these spirits to come in you and utilize you as host. And these spirits lead directly to death. Thou shalt not kill. Read.
Thou shalt not commit adultery.
Which means there's no such thing as we grew apart. What the Hades is we grew apart. That's straight garbage. It is what it is. Adultery. That's, according to the law, a woman with a husband sleeping with another man. That's adultery. Read.
Thou shalt not steal.
Thou shalt not steal. And you see what they're doing? Oh yeah, adultery is the other way around too. Thou shalt not steal. Now what they've done by opening up the borders, they've brought in a bunch of scammers. These East Indians coming over here, like how these people keep getting my phone number? Kick rocks already. Kick rocks. Every time you look, we want to sell you electricity. Man, if you don't go somewhere, can't even get a regular accent right, and gonna try to take your scamming behind back to India. Okay? Go back to New Delhi. Okay? Thou shalt not steal. Got these scammers coming away from India. Okay? And it's, you know that they're the original Babylonians too, them and the Iraqis. And we're gonna keep our foot on their neck in the next academy. All of a sudden, you got these East Indian doctors coming over on CNN. They're getting propped up, in the White House, in the administration there. We did not ask for these people. Okay? And now all of a sudden, they're all up within our mix. And I even see, I see them commentating on basketball. I'm like, what? What is this? Scammy, coming up in the United States, just bringing your devils and all that and scamming people. Thou shalt not steal, read.
Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor.
Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor, lying on other people knowingly. People who do this, they're mentally ill, subjected to spirits and demons to be controlled. Read.
Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his donkey, nor anything that is thy neighbor's.
That means what? We have to get out of this mindset of wanting what the Joneses want. Being jealous, comparing ourselves to other people without being content with what the Most High blessed us with. Always want what someone else has. Putting pressure on other people because someone got something and you feel it's deserving of you. That's coveting. Another scenario that's so hard. Putting expectations on other people because your girlfriend got it or because this person got it. Now there's pressure in someone else's home. They travel, so we should travel. Well, they go out sometimes, so we should go out sometime. No. The expectations have to be made within a home and not coveting what other people are doing. But what did Satan do? he threw a phone in the mix. And through this phone, everybody have upped their expectations beyond being content. They're looking at these fake lives people are placing online, and now looking around at their home and thinking, well, is this all I get out of life? Look at what's going on here.
Right.
Instead of being content and satisfied with serving the Almighty and having what? Food, shelter, and raiment. With that, be content. And as long as you have that in a tight-knit family in place, you can always get money. You can always get money. Some people think that they need to leave their situation and start over to get money. Don't you know when you leave, you start over? You're starting from a deficit or a hole? That's backward thinking. Okay? I don't think people know that the whole idea of corporations or business came from traditional family. That's the whole idea of business. Okay? Husband, wife, children. If you got a farm, you don't got to pay employees because you all are working the farm. That's the original model for business. Family is the business. And people are wondering why they're mentally ill alone. Why? Because you've worked contrary to the traditional family. And now we're living in a world of what? Mentally ill people. And you want to fix it? Come back to God's law. It's that simple. Follow the commandments. A man, be a man. That's your role. Woman, be a woman. That's your role. Period. And guess what? Don't resent each other's role. Embrace your role as a man, so as a woman is to embrace her role and be satisfied with it. Before I read the last scripture, go to Ezekiel 9. Before I go to Ezekiel 9, Elder Lawyer, to show you, when they open up CERN and all that and let these spirits loose, that was intentional. Because it's to take out those who don't want to be in order. To take out those who don't want. You want to follow Satan? You think you got it going on by yourself? You don't need our God? You don't need traditional family? You don't need order? Well, guess what? He's allowing Satan to take you. Let's read Ezekiel real quick.
Yes, sir. Ezekiel 9, verse 4.
Let me get it.
And the Lord said unto him,
Let me get it real
go
quick.
through the...
Let me get it real quick. 1 second. Ezekiel.
Yes,
Ezekiel 9. And then I'm going to touch on this P. Diddy thing. But I'm going to do a whole Patreon on that soon. But I'm going to touch on what I'm going to be talking about. Real quick. Let's go to Ezekiel 9 and 4 and see what happens here.
Yes, sir. And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry, for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof.
So here it is. The Most High told the angels. We read this in Ezekiel, the 7th chapter. Revelation, the 7th chapter. To go set a mark on those who see that something is wrong in this earth, who want what's right, and is tired of fighting against everyone that's wrong. Set a mark on them. Those who want what life used to be, simple, a family protected, values. Go set a mark on those who want a better world. Right? Read.
And to the others he said in mine hearing, Go ye after him through the city, and smite. Let not your eye spare, neither have ye pity.
And that's what we're going through right now, brothers and sisters. Death angels. And this is why I'm going to tell you right now, it's not good for us to operate out of order, and it's not good for children to think that they know more than their parents and go out there to the world to find out, what's out there. Okay, it's to a point where we're going to have to even start as a church thinking about how it was back in ancient times. We're going to have to, if we really care about our children, and we do, we're going to have to begin to arrange who they're going to be with in the church. y'all work it out. They talk to the parents, because ain't nothing but chaos and crazies out there. Go ye after him through the city and smite, and let not your eyes spare. Read.
Neither have ye pity.
Now look at the people that's being slayed. Now don't forget, Christ says he's going to cause a division, right? Slay what?
Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women. But come not nigh any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary.
And begin with my people who don't choose right. The Most High sanctuary are Israelites. If our people don't want to be right, they're actually stopping their own progress towards kingdom. Get rid of them. Let Satan take them. Begin at my sanctuary. Begin with my people. Read.
Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house.
And they began at the ancient men that were before the house, like your pastors. Look at, people talk P. Diddy. Check out what's going on with T.D. Jakes. Begin at the respected ancient, the leaders of the people. Total humiliation. What we're seeing is a judgment, a division. And this is how you overcome the death jaws of Babylon. You must follow the law, or you'll be subjected to the demons that have been released from the river Euphrates. That's what CERN is all about, releasing those spirits that have been bound since the beginning. They were bound. 90% of the demons were bound during the time after the ark subsided. And Noah began to pray against these spirits who were attacking his children. 90% of the spirits were bound in the river Euphrates. Well, it tells you in the book of Revelation that they were released. And that's what CERN is for. It's Satan's Tower of Babel machine to release those spirits. And when they released those spirits, they started bringing all the other nations from ancient Babylon into where we live. Set up temples to pray against us. And then our people went what? Bat crap crazy. Then they shut things down and they gave people a little shoddy shots. And the people have gone even more mad since then. Now, what happens when the people get the mark of the beast? Not the mark through the Holy Spirit that's provided for those who sigh and cry. What if people get the mark of the beast? Well, folks, the mark of the beast will literally connect you with the Tower of Babel. You'll be connected with it. So all we see here, you'll be connected totally to it. Controlled like a servant on like a servant of Satan, and you will be initiated into Satan's army to fight against Christ's second coming. Now, of course, I'm going to go into more of those details in the Hebrew and Bible Academy. Go to historytimes.org. That's right. From Babylon, Rome to America for the first time taught in the Academy. That will be the theme. We're going to start off from the Tower of Babel. I've just given you a little insight. I didn't go into all of it. A little insight to where we're going in this academy. Hit the like button. Now, Elder Lawyer, now let's talk about this real quick before I open up the phones. Can't stop, won't stop. Right? Everyone is talking about P. Diddy. P. Diddy. What's going on with P. Diddy? Now, this is what y'all don't understand. And of course, I'm going to do a whole Patreon on this. But it links directly into what I'm talking about, the spirits that will be utilized to taint our society. The greatest resistance we had as a people spiritually against the powers that be was the fact that we were what? We were a Bible-believing community. We were unified. And you know what? We had no one else because there was segregation, and we understood the death that would await us on the other side of the tracks. We depended on each other for self-preservation, and we are all we had. And you know what? We had that Bible together. Lived a simple life, and you know what? Christ had the angels protect us under those circumstances. Right? So they had to shake us away, make us immoral. And that's where the media comes in. Now, I don't have no time for it right now. I wish I had time. There's an audio book, Elder Lawyer, that's titled One Nation Under Blackmail by Whitney Webb. I have the audio book here. I actually purchased it. One Nation Under Blackmail. What did Whitney Webb drop with this particular audio book? The sordid union between intelligence, organized crime that gave rise to Jeffrey Epstein. But she doesn't stop there. Right? They go into the fact that organized crime became incorporated. When the mobs couldn't deal with the barbaric, the barbarian type of business anymore, people dying in the streets, getting shot in the streets and things of that nature, booze and all that others, they was getting bad PR. So they needed to clean up their act and become businessmen. And guess what? They showed that in the movie The Godfather. Well, the black people were their entertainments. Like, you know, all their private clubs and all that. Black people, we were the entertainment for the underworld. So the mob bosses came up with a plan. Why don't we make this a business? These black people can dance. They can sing. And on top of that, allegedly, we can even launder some of the money we have through the streets and launder it in these businesses, and no one will ever know that it's street money. So the whole idea of the music business came from what? Mafia lifestyles. It's the mafia game. It's organized crime, organized. Well, where do P. Diddy come in at? Well, P. Diddy came in at a time to water down the music. Loops, break beats off of hits where the industry was already making what? They were already making royalties off of a lot of the music that the black artists weren't getting royalties from. So how do they make more money? Well, we'll take these old songs that we still own and that these black artists aren't really getting money from, and we'll have P. Diddy loop it and make generic music to water down the business because black people are getting too much power and are asking for what they deserve. That's where he come in at. Well, come to find out that there's a connection between him and Frank Lucas's family. His father, a lot of people don't know, his father was killed for being an informant. This is not alleged. Working under Frank Lucas, the guy that we see Denzel Washington played a role in. So Diddy was raised in a life of organized crime. His family was a part of that family of organized crime. Now it's in the business. Why am I going here? Well, even Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson had this white guy who was hanging around that no one understood who he was, and this guy wasn't talented. His name was Frank DiLeo. Frank DiLeo mobbed up when Frank DiLeo was managing Michael Jackson. Right? Why am I going here? Now, I'm going to go in more detail when I do a Patreon on this. Folks, the music business is where the organized crime went. Okay? All of the mob bosses, they put on suits, their children put on suits, and now they're doing it in a more acceptable way. This is why you hear terms racketeering. Right? Human trafficking. This is why you're hearing this. Because what? These were the rules that were made for the mobsters. Right? Now, at the same time, they brought in Jay-Z. Instead of us singing Let's Stay Together, Family, and all these others, they came out with what? Big Pimpin'. Now, we were just seeing Jay-Z. What we weren't seeing was what they did was they started putting a camera, Hype Williams and all that, on the secret parties that were going on amongst the mobsters and all of that, where pimps would bring in their girls and have parties. The new music business for us, we started seeing the optics and thought it was something new with women on the yacht, when this is what they've always done. In agreement with pimps bringing in their girlfriends and all of that and having parties. Hype Williams just said, well, you know what? Let's make videos with this and expose us, who was going to church and all that, into the dark lifestyle of the what? Of the chaotic mob underworld. There is no innocent in this. It's all mobs. The same way they used to hire Sam Cooke. and all that to come to their clubs and all that before TV and all that became a thing. Folks, it's the same thing. It's just on a higher level, a greater scale. This is where the mob went. Okay? So understand, I'm just putting that out there to say, listen, everybody that's participating with this is in agreement with it. There is no victims. It's organized crime. Okay? Now, in this, one thing that comes out, though, that I'm going to show with Whitney Webb, when I'm going to have this audio and we're going to do this live on Patreon. One thing she says, and make it clear, that the true bosses are never exposed. Okay? That P. Diddy and all these others are only doing what was done to them. But if you break ranks and begin to disturb those original agreements that was made, they'll make you expendable. They'll make you expendable. As long as you play ball, you are safe. Now, Elder Lawyer, I'm going to have a Patreon when I get back. To the States. I mean, get back home after we travel to see our family this weekend. I'm going to travel there. One thing that I want to break out with this, when it comes to this P. Diddy thing, it was about influence our children with Jay-Z and all that, with the music, into the dark, sadistic, satanic, perverted world. It was utilized so that more spirits can now destroy our community. More people go to jail. So that now the replacements will have what? They would have room to destroy us after the music. They'll do what the music couldn't do. Now the replacements are here to finish it. So I'm going to have a whole discussion on this. Okay? And again, these are agreements with these people. These are agreements. Now, Elder Lawyer, but this is where it's going. It's about to get real deep. They have set a precedent, Elder Lawyer, and brothers and sisters, where, don't forget, through the mob, they were always able to set a new precedent. Right? What's the guy from the Untouchables? The mobster from Chicago. Elder Lawyer.
Al Capone.
Al Capone. Right? They was able to set a new precedent. Al Capone was so buttoned up with lawyers and all that they couldn't touch him. They came up with something. Mm-hmm. They say, well, we can get him on tax evasion. Do you know that was something out of nowhere that was never utilized for mobsters? Usually tax evasion would be regular businessmen or whatever the case is, right? But because he had books to show that there was no taxes paid for these specific books, running numbers and all that, and they was able to get those numbers, they was able to use a loophole to take down Al Capone. Now check this out. They have what? They're starting up with a new president now, organized crime. Now, racketeering and human trafficking is when someone flies in from one state to the next. Now, I want y'all, now check it out now. You've heard it here first. The majority of our people who are making money, be it football, basketball, and the music business, are done. Because they knew they was going to put this president in place. This precedent. Mm-hmm. So now, how long have athletes been flying women out? Since it became a thing on Instagram. Think about that. And what are they showing in this trial? They're showing text messages and all the proof of interacting with these high influential men. Well, folks, now they're gonna be able to put a one-man RICO on any black man that flew a girl out who she feels she didn't get what she should have gotten out of the interaction. A lot of women who've been flew out with these athletes, they're looking at their texts in their phones now and saying, if I say that something happened, I know I can get a couple of million out of this. It's about to get crazy with the president that was set. And that always come back to what? Men are going to have to fall back to the traditional way of finding a woman and going on with your life. Athletes and those of high influence, they don't want you to have money that can help your people in a time that we're going to need protection. That's what this is about. They are incentivizing the strangers. They have incentivized all of them to come over here to press upon us, knowing that the children of Israel has awakened. And the last thing they need is people with generational funds that can protect our people. Okay? Money is a treasury. Money is a defense. So what they did with P. Diddy has nothing to do with P. Diddy. If they put this thing on a book that you fly someone out and that's human trafficking, all of the athletes can be now blackmailed. They all can be compromised. You either play ball the way we tell you, or your life is ruined and all that money is going to go to that what? That's right. That call girl we set we set you up with, that we gave you as a gift. You think this is a P. Diddy thing. Now, P. Diddy isn't doing nothing different than what the rest of them do. But when they make this president that flying someone from another state is sex trafficking. Now, folks, there's real people being sex trafficked. You know that, right? But if they put this on the books, even the everyday Jake who may have a little money, who have flew a girl out, and that girl didn't get the outcome she wanted, guess what? All of these women are going to have Bugsby on a speed dial.
That's right.
On a RICO charge. Just for flying a girl to where you are is a crime on the books now. Now, the salacious stuff they're talking about, I don't want to get involved with because there is no racketeering going on right now. They're just talking about what people did in a room and all this other crap. But again, this is about a money grab. Because men in particular, have pivoted from the old way and see how the government have been using situations to keep us broke. So men have started to maneuver to save or to keep whatever they can actually accumulate, knowing that the government got sly ways of just pulling money from under men, stopping men from progressing above the status quo. But I'm going to tell you this right now, folks. They're going to have one-man RICOs all over the place. And that's what this is really about. It's organized crime that they're now going to place at the foot of our community and make black men the face of it. That's what this is. And guess what? Hey, Passport bros. I know you saying, well, at least I can go somewhere else. You think they're not planning this for you too?
Mm-hmm.
It all comes down to doing what God say. Get you someone and go on with your life, and you both follow God. Everyone else is going to have a mark on them, and we'll be taken out. We'll be taken out. Unfortunate, well, it's the way it is. Satan can make up the rules as they go. You talking about it ain't fair. When has it ever been fair for us? Right? It ain't, listen, coming over in the belly of ships, that wasn't fair. Right? Conquistadors coming over here, they putting, you had them come over and put diseases in blankets. That wasn't fair. When are we going to learn the devil don't play fair? But we have to maneuver accordingly. And it's to a degree where the Most High is only giving us one option. There's only one option out of this. Him. That's it. There's only one option. Real quick, let me bring in my brother Jimmy real quick.
All right. If you don't mind, I had one precept on what you were just mentioning as far as the solution
Okay,
to
let's
this,
get it.
this problem.
Let's get it.
Proverbs 5 and 15.
Hold.
Read it down.
Okay,
in
let
verses.
me get it. Proverbs what?
5 and 15. You can break it down.
Okay,
Read a
Proverbs.
few verses out of here.
Okay, Proverbs 5, verse 15. Let's read it.
Proverbs 5 and 15. Drink waters out of thine own cistern, and running waters out of thine own well. Let thy fountains be dispersed abroad in rivers of waters in the street. Let them be thine own, or let them be only thine own, and not a stranger's with thee. Let thy fountain be blessed, and rejoice with the wife of thy youth. Let her be as the
Crystal
loving
clear.
hind.
Crystal clear. All over the place. No, you drink out of your own cistern.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And a lot of people believe that the grass is greener on the other side. Okay. Let me tell. I mean, even unfortunate. Even I don't feel good about what happened with Cassie. Right? But even Cassie. Even Cassie, she thought the grass would be greener.
Mm-hmm.
And the man Ryan Leslie, who she was with before Diddy, did the song and got her the deal, and they had a relationship. They were together. But she chose the dark side. Instead of what? Being satisfied with a man who was protecting her. Thought that she was going into greener pastures with P. Diddy. So sometimes the grass isn't greener. She wanted that lifestyle. She wanted all it provided. Okay. And I can understand that temptation. I mean, the world was her oyster with this guy. But what did she give up in exchange? Her soul. And that's why it says, hey, drink waters from your own cistern. Okay? Lord have mercy. I'm going to tell you. Go on. Elder Lawyer.
Yes, sir. Verse 19. Let her be as the loving hind and pleasant roe. Let her breast satisfy thee at all times, and be thou ravished always with her love.
Read.
And why wilt thou, my son, be ravished with a strange woman?
Why be ravished with a strange woman? People flying women out that you don't even know and all these others. Let me tell you, that's the new Amalek grift. To have women who have laid with influential men to contact Busby, Rosen, and Wiseman's literally law firm. Are you broke? Just call us and let us know someone flew you out, and I'll get you a pay. That's the new ambulance chasers now, folks. And it says, son, this is talking to you young men out there. Wilt thou, my son, be ravished with a strange woman? See, because she's showing, guess what? She's showing that body and that behind for the world when she's on Instagram. You think it's for you? A lot of people are dropping in people's DMs thinking that she's showing for you. She's for the world. Any woman that's out there showing her body on the internet is for the world. I don't see what's wrong with these guys dropping in DMs with these girls and trying to have conversations with them. How many people was there before you, young men? My son, be ravished with a strange woman. Wilt thou be ravished with a strange woman? Shannon Sharp, right? Getting set up. Wilt thou be ravished with a strange woman? Read.
And embrace the bosom of a stranger? For the ways of a man are
Go ahead.
Yep. For the ways of a man are before the eyes of the Lord, and he pondereth all his goings.
For the ways of a man are before the eyes of the Lord, who are the angels, and he pondereth all his goings. And that's crystal clear. It's in the Bible. Guess what, folks? They did this whole thing, the whole mafioso thing to set us up and to keep men, especially black men, from ever rising beyond the point of control, beyond the places wherein they can control us. They got the whole thing in place. And guess what? Guess who they use? I need y'all to think about this, allegedly. Why do you think when a basketball player or a football player, an artist, what do they get in order to do business within those arenas? They get what? An agent. Y'all better look at the Matrix again. So soon as someone get out of line, or just say someone want to switch an agent, who do you think was covering up for you to keep you, to keep you squeaky clean while you were playing for teams and all that? Who was cleaning up for you? Who were you telling your worries and all that about a girl that was trying to blackmail you and all that? You were telling your agent. See? He kept a dossier. So anytime he's not making money off of you, your agent can call Busby and say, hey, I cleaned up a situation for this particular basketball player 5 years ago, and we gave the girl a little money. Would you like to speak to her? I need a cut. That's how it works. Who do you think you're telling everything to? When there was a fight or something happened, your agent had to come down there and clean things up so that the media couldn't get hold to it. But now they got all that wealth of information on millionaires, billionaires, men with all this money. And now they can no longer make money from you. They're your friends now. But then at the end, when you can no longer make money, when they know that you're going to take that money for your family, folks, they'll call up a law firm and say, they'll call the girl up and say, you want to make some money? That's how it goes. The agents. And all of the agents, you know they all go to the same place to worship, don't you? Anything else, Elder Lawyer?
Yes, sir. One more precept.
What else you have?
1 Timothy 6 and 9.
The water, Elder. 1 Timothy 6 and 9.
Yes, sir.
Let's
In
read
fact,
it.
I'll start at verse 8. In
Yes,
fact,
sir.
no, the whole thing is... Let me start at verse 6.
Go ahead. You can take the whole thing. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. You can break it down. 1 Timothy 6 and 6. But godliness with contentment is great gain. For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out. And having food and raiment, let us therewith be content. Verse 9. But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition. For the love of money is the root of all evil, and while some covet it after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows.
Lord, that's the super bomb. Hey, we're going to read that one more again. Hey,
Yes, sir.
and mind you, folks, and this is why these Amalekians, the synagogue of Satan, they're laughing all the way to the bank, because usually they're able to what? They're able to destroy those who should have, who went to church, who should have known these precepts exist. So that they get an extra gratification out of it, knowing that they're doing this to Christians. You think they don't know? They were like, well, hold up. It tell them in the book how to avoid us. And they claim to be God-fearing, Christ-believing people. And yet we're getting a grip off of all of them because they refuse to follow the values they claim to hold out of the Bible. Right? So they get an extra gratification, these not anti-Christ, by doing what? Tripping up and taking from those who believe in Christ. And it says, but godliness with contentment is great gain. The sixth, this is where this is the true great gain. When you're wholly believing the Most High and you're content, even without money, and still satisfied, that's the great gain. Because I know our God, if it's money He wants you to have, He can give you that. But to be content to know you're right with God, that's the true value of life. For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out. And so what's the satisfaction? In having food, raiment, let us be there with content. Stop looking at what other people have and now feel that God cheated you. No, that's not. You're coveting. Okay, appreciate what the Most High blessed you with. But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and unto many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition. For the love of money is the root of all evil. You get these guys out there, well, yeah, I got all this, so let me go see this exotic woman that I don't know about and have her fly in to show her how much money I have. Right? And next thing you know, you hog-tied in the closet somewhere because she came with two of her brothers and said, listen, it's time for this guy to get got. That's what happens. Instead of just getting you a nice girl, believe in God, believe in Christ, haven't been all in the streets, I'm going to tell you, there's young ladies who would appreciate a man that has something. Instead of just flossing and getting girls out of Magic City with tats all over them, gunshots, you know, in their cigarette burns on them and all this other stuff. No. Mm-hmm. My man Jimmy over there, he's cracking up.
Go on to mention this as well. So in verse Salaki, you can finish it off in 10.
Yeah.
It says, but they that be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts. To a degree, and I know it may sound strange, but being under these curses and a lot of the things that we've suffered under these curses, being poor or being below means to some degree was a protection. When these people under these curses, once they get money, all of that confusion, all of the dysfunction that they experienced while living in the ghetto, while growing up, that manifests on a whole nother level. So a lot of the things we're hearing coming out of this case, like you mentioned earlier, things coming out of a room where grown people consented to go into this room and deal with these depraved activities, that's a result of people getting money and now being able to sit back, think, fantasize, and exercise these disgusting, hurtful lusts, and to actually manifest these desires that went unchecked and should have been dealt with and should have been corrected before they got money.
Exactly.
Salakia, go ahead.
No, but that's the life they chose.
Exactly.
It's the underworld. It's the mob life. So all these people that are looking at this, trying to find where the moral compass is and which side to be on, there is no moral compass there. Where are you going to find morality or right or wrong under these circumstances?
Exactly.
There's no victims.
Exactly. And it goes back to what you were saying earlier. The only thing we can pull away from this is how it's going to affect us.
Yeah.
The everyday Jake operating in the society may have a relationship with a woman. Things may not go right, or things may, as you mentioned earlier, people claim they grow apart. And later this man may become somewhat successful. And now she's coming 20 years later with an accusation. These are the things we have to look at, how it's going to affect us on this level.
Well, guess what? Well, I do know it can only affect us, because this is the destroy Judah rule. Because I'm looking at Deshaun Watson, I'm looking at Bill Cosby before him, who ended up getting out of jail. I mean, ended up, he was exonerated. These old women was coming. He knew these women from the 60s. They was rolling out in wheelchairs talking about somebody put something in they 7-Up.
Right.
Then you had Deshaun Watson, now Diddy. This is the black man get in line rule. Okay.
You had R. Kelly.
R. Kelly is still serving a one-man RICO. So this rule is specifically for us, but guess what? The Most High has allowed that. This is what happens when you make a contract with the dark side. It tell you you're servants of Satan. This is their playground. And guess what? These Satanists can make up the rules as they go.
Exactly.
Anyone get out of line, they can always find a woman who had a problem with you in the past. They're easy to find now. That's it. And what person didn't have a problem in a past relationship?
Right.
You get out of line, they will find an old girlfriend who still feel you gave another woman what she should have had. They'll find her. Anything else, other lawyer? We got Jimmy on the line.
No, sir. No, sir.
How you doing, my brother? Let me bring old Jim, man. What's your Hebrew name, young man? Unmute. Go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. What's your Hebrew name?
Hey, Shalom. I don't really have a Hebrew name yet. I never really got a Hebrew name, you know.
Well,
just went by Officer Jimmy.
Officer Jimmy. Well, we're gonna do something about that. We got to give, because you've been in this work for a long time, young man. How long have you been in this truth?
This year made 10 years.
Lord have mercy.
2015.
What type of work you do?
I do videography work. You know, I also do photography, a little bit of photography as well. You know, social media content, marketing strategy is what I'm trying to get into as well. So my business is just getting off the ground now. So
Is that the only work you're doing?
I do Uber for work.
Okay, because you've been into this thing for 10 years, so we're gonna have to discuss something with you, because have a conversation, because we might need you in one of these cities, young man. 10 years. Are you ready to make some moves?
Say that again?
Are you ready to make some moves? If you have to travel or to have to be in another city to help us spread this work.
Absolutely, 100%.
Oh, hey, look how the Most High work it. 10 years, hey, it's time for you to do what you do.
Man, praise the Most High.
We're gonna have that discussion.
Yes,
But in
sir.
the meantime, let me pull up some of your work. I thank you for the Hebrew and Bible Academy video that you put together, and I want brothers and sisters to see some of your work here.
Okay.
So let me pull it up. AC here. There it is. Brother Jimmy. Starting June 1st, it will begin a new installment of the Hebrew and Bible Academy. The full 12 weeks. Hold on, let me start it from the beginning. We'll be concentrating on the beginning. Starting June 1st, it will begin a new installment of the Hebrew and Bible Academy. The full 12 weeks will be concentrating on the beginning and fall of Babylon, history, the understanding of the religious aspect of Babylon, as well as what? The theme from Babylon, Rome to America. In the Academy, this is what you can look forward to. New lessons, the secret war of Edom against Israelites. But one thing we've never delved into was bringing forth the history, showing all the contentions and war Edom had waged against Israelites even until our present time. The desolation of abomination, how to calculate time according to God, and I can't wait for this lesson, Armageddon. The final war in heaven. If you've never been in the Academy, you want to be in this one. June 1st, we're in open enrollment right now. Go to historytimes.org to enroll. Hebrew and Bible Academy. You're invited. Whoa! Oh, brother, you went in, my brother.
Was a very delicate
Oh,
woman.
man.
And
All
beautiful.
praises. Praise the Most High. All glory to Him. All glory to the Most High.
Well, I wanted to thank you for that. Obviously, to have made that particular video. How did you go about doing it? Getting the footage or whatever? What spurred that? Because I don't believe I asked you to do that. So.
Yeah. I seen that the Academy was coming up. I always wanted to do it, you know, because I'm like, man, like, how do I get people to get interested? Cause I want to give, send the link to the Academy to friends and family, you know. So I'm like, how do I get them interested in getting into the Academy, you know? And then Shawan contacted me, and because he had saw my other work that I did for the Passover. I'm not sure if you've seen the video that I did for the Passover.
Yeah.
It was Yeah, it's called Transformation of the Saints. So he seen that video and he said, "Hey, Academy's coming up. Won't you do a little promo?" And I said, "Oh wow, definitely. I always wanted to do it." So I got working on it right away, and yeah, just put it together. And I wanted to make it interesting because man, people don't know what they're missing in Academy, man. People don't know what they're missing. So I know with this, people are like, listen, I can't miss this, or if they never been in academy, they're gonna wanna get into this academy here. So I definitely wanted to do it, and I've been doing this type of work. I'm just starting to get into the animation and whatnot. So I wanted to put it together, and hopefully people can join, and this can be the very successful academy.
Well, thank you, brother. And of course, we're going to use more of your work. I love the production. We have Sandy, who he used to put together our videos and make it more dynamic and all of that. Until YouTube started, hitting our pages with stock copyrights, because he was, it's hard to use anything anymore without YouTube coming against us. But I really appreciate your work, brother. But go ahead.
I was gonna say that. Yeah, a lot of times they get it's copyright infringement and whatnot, but I use AI image. That's the good thing about using AI images, because it's not copywritten.
Okay.
So I use AI images. Certain videos, of course, your videos.
Okay.
I put it together like that. So it's a little bit easier now to put a video like that together. And and I just want to say too, I want to thank you as well, and give you honors to the elders, because I remember we had a men's meeting a few years back, maybe this last tabernacle and the one before that, and you were just telling us that men, we have to be more self-sufficient, and use the gift that the Most High gave you, for the work, and you and also Deacon Hazat from our church, he used to have meetings with the brothers, saying that, listen, we got to be self-sufficient. It's more of a requirement now for us to be self-sufficient and use what the Most High gave us, the gift that He gave us, to serve the kingdom. And that's what I'm doing. You know what? I was like, you know what? Let me just go for it. Sometimes you want to be a perfectionist and you want to wait till things are right, but no, go ahead. Whatever's on your spirit, the Holy Spirit put. What you were mentioning in the meeting, just do it. Do it. Get your credit right. Get your LLC and start a business from it. And it's a righteous thing. Why not?
Well,
So
brother,
I want to thank you, Elder.
Well, all praise be to the Most High. If someone want to reach you, so that they can take it, so that they can get some video work or whatever type of work that you could provide with this particular talent, how would they reach you?
Okay, so I'll do videography work where I actually, go and film within the New York City, Jersey, and Philly, PA area.
Yeah.
In Connecticut as well too. I'm able to travel. And if you want like content creation or editing work done, you can contact me right now only through my Instagram. My business page is Inner Kingdom Branding. That's Inner Kingdom Branding.
It's Inner Kingdom Branding?
Inner Kingdom Branding, yeah, on Instagram. So you could reach me there. I named it that because I believe that the kingdom of heaven is within us.
Okay.
Sometimes we look into like what's going on in these times and say, listen, now is no time for that. I'm just waiting to flee and flee Babylon, and but we have to work. Whatever the Most High gifted us to do, put it out there. We all got gifts. Like you said earlier, Israel's so talented.
Yeah.
We have to utilize our gifts for the kingdom. And the Most High will bless it. We don't have to have no fear, because fear makes us stagnant and we don't do anything.
Well, brother, it's a blessing, and put it out there again so people can know how to reach out to you in case they would like video work done, because usually you can promote someone's business, whatever the case is. And even if people are on the GOCC network and want a more dynamic advertisement, I believe they should reach out for you to get some type of advert, even if it's 30 seconds. Put it out there again so that they'll know how to reach it.
It's Inner Kingdom Branding.
Inner Kingdom
Yes.
Branding.
Yes.
Inner
That
Kingdom Branding.
yes,
And-
I'm getting so many requests right now. Everybody's already requesting me already.
There you go, brother. Go do what you got to do, and I'm going to talk about this work on the outside of this soon when I get back.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Elder.
I appreciate you, brother. And hey, the Most High, He brought you a long way, young man. I remember you was a kid. Look at you.
Yeah, God. I have no facial hair. I had short hair.
Oh yeah,
you
I
know?
remember you. I remember you, man. But hey, you're gonna do some great work, and it started with what you've just provided, and I really appreciate it. Anything you need, I'm here.
Thank you so much, Elder. Shalom, Elder Ricard. Shalom, Elder Lawyer. Peace and blessings.
Shalom. That's right. A
Shalom.
saint of the Almighty. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. All right. You can let yourself out, young man.
All righty.
All
Shalom.
right.
Good night.
And another thing is, if you would like to text, just text, and I'll bring you in. I can take calls for the next 15 minutes, which will conclude our broadcast. But not before I answer my brother Rashad that I knew since for decades. How you doing, young man?
Shalom, Elder.
How you doing?
I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed.
So
I
you,
keep forgetting the Hebrew name you gave me. I keep forgetting it.
a lawyer. What's the Hebrew name we gave Rashad?
What was it? Haratazah.
Haratazah.
Haratazah, that was it.
Did you call him yet, lawyer? Rashad?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we spoke for a brief moment. I'm gonna call again though. I've been working, and I want to know how can I? Cause my funds are a little low. How much is the Hebrew Academy?
Just
To
send.
get in?
Well, just send me your email and send lawyer your email. We'll work it out with you, young man. All right.
Okay, and the times I'm working that I missed the academy, can I go back and watch the lesson?
Yes,
Is it
sir.
able to be saved?
Yeah, yes,
Okay.
sir. You'll be able to. Everything will be inside the email we'll send you.
And I have a question. First of all, this is crazy, the topic, because just last night, this is confirmation. This topic you had is confirmation from the Most High. Me and a friend was talking about parasites and whether, like, could parasites be like a form of possession? And we talking about chemical imbalances and mental illness last night.
Absolutely.
That's crazy.
Absolutely. And you know what? Just get some black seed oil.
Okay.
Black seed oil is great for parasites. What I did today, and I'm going to start doing it every day, take a few ounces of nice filtered water, cayenne pepper, some lemon juice, and apple cider vinegar. Hit that early in the morning, and a tablespoon of black seed oil.
So it's cayenne pepper, lemon, a little bit of water,
And
I
apple
take
cider vinegar, but make sure
apple cider vinegar
make sure
with
the
the mother.
make sure the mother is in there. You shake that real good.
Right.
And and I have some black seed oil too. So take a tablespoon of black seed oil. Parasites cannot live in you. These are spirits. All right.
And another thing, in 2019 I was diagnosed with diabetes. Now these doctors try to tell me that you can only reverse it, it's not a cure. But deep in my heart, because I know the Most High gave a cure for every disease.
Well, first
Well-
of all, they can't tell you there's who are them. And you have to realize, brother, that what they try to do is get us upon that stuff.
Right, the metformin, but I don't take metformin or anything of that. I try to eat right. Right now, my blood sugar level is like level right now.
Yeah, just eat
So-
eat good food. Make sure if you can. It's hard. They're priced as out of organic food, but make
Yeah,
sure don't eat too much fast food. Get organic when you go to the market. You should be fine because they're always down us with some crap to get us on that stuff. And usually when you get on that stuff, it's almost over for you. That's how they replace you. All right.
Right, because I used to take it in the beginning, but I stopped a long time ago. I stopped taking it.
Well, hey, brother, it's best to deal with what the Most High have given you. Natural
Right.
herbs, good food, and you'll be fine. I'm seeing the majority of the people that I know that was on that stuff is no longer with us. So would they have lived longer? I probably I would think so. All right, brother. So I'll call you soon. I got your number. All right.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
My brother. All right. 678 area code. How can I help you?
Yes, how are you?
I'm blessed by the Almighty. Yourself? Your name?
My name is Annette.
Do me a favor, Annette. Can you mute the YouTube?
Okay, I'm sorry. Let me mute it. And so I was calling because I was listening to the guy that said about the diabetes, and I just read somewhere today that when it comes to that the body is lacking two minerals, which was chromium and a vanadium. And so I looked it up on Amazon, and it shows where you can get those two minerals together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. And then
what are those two again for the people can hear it? What is it?
It was the chromium and the vanadium.
Okay. Well, I don't know.
Two minerals.
I still need people to make sure. I have to say this for the protection of the channel, that still consult a professional.
Yeah.
That you can trust. Let me put it that way.
Oh yes.
But go on. What else you have?
Okay, and then I heard you talk about the men, the guys that's going out, selecting these certain women.
Yep.
Well, okay, so that happened to my grandson. He took a lady out, took a girl out, and she set him up to be killed.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, he was 23. It was a couple of days after his birthday. And it happened on my son's birthday.
I am so sorry. And I'm telling you, people have to be warned. You go out and think you're meeting someone. You said, okay, so your grandson, you say?
Mm-hmm. Yep. They met her online. And I've been thinking and praying. I'm like, okay, in order for this to click, somebody that's supposed to be friends with him will have to say, hey, he's online. Go on there and go straight to him and link up with him.
These children, man, they got to be careful. It's not the world we grew up in.
Yep. And I told him some people to cut him loose, but he didn't cut them loose.
I'm sorry to hear that. You got my condolences.
You can't trust people out there at all. And it's happening. It's happening more than people know.
Oh man, it's a different world right now, and it's so. Let me tell you, it's so hard to tell these young kids.
Yeah, they don't get it.
It's so hard. They think they're invincible. Yeah. They think that they know better.
Yeah.
And you know what? Okay, I have to admit we were like that at that age too, but it was a different world.
Oh yeah. People, kids wouldn't set you up to die. It was like
it's a different world. Yeah, the most you would get, and it happened to me. I got jumped. I remember that.
Yeah.
But getting flew out and let me tell you, it's a different generation. They straight killing people now.
Oh shucks, yeah.
And the people, and the world is filled with functional crazy people.
Oh yeah. Demonic.
Yeah. So
and I fought the girl because she had so many chances to say I'm not going to play a part in it. When he took her out to eat, she just continued to plan. She took her out to eat, and then the boy saying, well, okay, bring him over here to the park, and we'll be waiting on him, kiss him and tell him good night. And and I'm like, Lord, I can imagine how he felt when he had 3 guys against him with a gun and it was nothing he could do.
Lord have mercy.
Nothing he could do.
Well, I'm sorry about that. It just, hopefully this conversation tonight with your call will be the fair warning our children need to understand, to listen. I really appreciate it, ma'am.
You're welcome. You're highly welcome.
All right.
I
have a good night.
appreciate you for listening.
All right, thank you. And you
All
have my
right.
condolences. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Listen to your family. Listen to your parents, young men, young women.
Yeah. Yes, listen.
I
'Cause
appreciate
they
you.
know, and not only that, but you know with the two boys that got killed in Georgia. See what it is.
Oh, sister, I'm sorry. I got to get to the next call. I'm sorry.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right. I'm sorry about that.
Okay.
All right. 804 area code.
Hello.
Yes. How can I help you?
How you doing, Elder McCall? First of all, I wanted to say shalom and thawad to all the GOZ family and affiliates. And waiting so long to even talk, to even be able to even have the free time to talk, to even talk about what's going on. And even saying that I fully appreciate all the work you've done since the very beginning. I saw you on YouTube, and I just wanted to say that.
Well, thank you. All praises be to the Most High. Are you a part of the work?
Yeah, sir. I've been watching and trying to figure out why my life's so crazy. Just trying to even watch, and even have time, free time to even think.
Okay, I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you again. I'm going to ask you again. Are you a part of the work? Are you in the church?
Yes, sir. I've been an avid follower of the church. I've been using everything I've learned from the Bible and trying to reinterpret it and get the Greek transliteration out and really understand how simple the Bible is, even in the worst of times. And how much you need. It's really like not even the basic book before you. It's like the basic survival kit of life, and realizing the spiritual magnificence it even has when you even have no choice to even matter. Just knowing that you got a faith alone is all the trust in Christ you need.
Well, brother, thank you for calling, and let me know when you're ready to be a part of the work. All right.
All right. I mean, I'm trying to get into class before. I've sent donations in before. I just always try to show support, but it's just been so hard to even, get my things together, even have a, because it's just a rush hour every day now, just trying to even have a place to even call you on,
What city and state you live in?
Richmond, Virginia.
Okay.
So you already know. You already know. It's a race.
Did someone reach out to you already?
Yeah, I've reached out a couple times. I just never really had time to even do go through a class session. Like I always wanted to. I just every time I even try to sign up, it just seemed like life happens.
No. I'm talking about signing up. I'm talking about actually congregating with a body there.
No, I've never. It's just never really happened. I tried to congregate with a couple other. I think it was with the blue and black shirt. I think it was not IUIC, but the other one, I forgot the name of them. But I met with some brothers before and tried to do it. Just couldn't work because all of us had life going. I was the only one that didn't have kids that were trying to just even go out there on the street and even say anything. And now I just realized I have to just at least try to join GOCC, at least give it one good shot, because I always wanted to at least be affiliated.
Would you like to gather with the body there?
Yes, sir.
All right, one moment. How old are you?
I'm 33 years old. I'll be 34 next month.
Okay. Let me have your name, young man.
Joshua Jones, my government name, but my Hebrew name was Jonah. My first Hebrew name, I thought I was Jonah because I'm not even trying to claim a Hebrew name Joshua right now with all this stuff going on.
Well, that's your name, brother. Your name is Joshua.
I know, right? So how can I even dodge my name at this point?
Well, you know what, brother? We're going to call you and see if we can get you on the right path to get into this work, all right?
All right. If I could just even, just get even a fair, I just want to do a class. That's all I want to even have a chance. Even do $30, $40 just for one, class session, if that's possible.
Well, brother, don't worry about the money. I'm gonna call you up, okay?
All right, I appreciate it, Elder McCall. I always appreciate
my
it.
brother. My
right.
brother, bless you.
Yes, sir.
All right. And real quick, I would like to say this. Lawyer, you there? Are you there, lawyer?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Did you get that box of popcorn that sister and brother sent?
I did.
Man,
it was amazing.
Man, did you taste the cheddar situation?
Yeah, there was a few of them. I had the spicy cheddar. You mean the spicy cheddar with the caramel, or?
Yeah, the spicy cheddar with the caramel.
Yeah, it was, out of this world.
Man, for those who don't know what I'm talking about, Lord have mercy, our people in the truth have some talent. For those who don't know, Crazy Corn gourmet popcorn, folks.
Mm-hmm.
This is people in the family in the truth did this. They're from what? Katy, Texas. Katy, Texas, from the Texas body, has gourmet popcorn, folks. If you're listening to me, this is some of the best stuff I've ever tasted. It's organic popcorn, folks. Don't tell me our people aren't gifted. Man, I've never tasted popcorn this good. But this is what I need because I don't have too much of a sweet tooth anymore. Excuse me. And I'm going to call you also. Can you do the cheddar cheese, but make it cheddar cheese and spicy? A few bags of that. No, not the caramel cheddar, but the cheddar. Make it a hot cheddar, like a chili cheddar with some salt in it. Elder Lawyer, tell me that won't be popping.
Make that a double, because I'm on the same vibe. The sugar right now these days is a little too excessive.
Yeah.
I can't do a lot of sugar, but if we can get something without the caramel, that'll be lovely.
If I can get something outside the caramel, I want the cheddar power situation going on with some salt and spicy. The blessed. Here's the phone number: 346-387-2196. Crazy Corn gourmet popcorn. It's actually organic. It's some of the best popcorn I ever tasted in my life. And you know what? I am not exaggerating. I don't advertise. I don't put nothing out there. But brothers and sisters, I ate this stuff and it was deep. This thing was deep. So what I'm going to do real quick, this stuff, I don't know. How can something taste beautiful? It beautifully tasted. I'm just breaking all types of grammatic rules right now. Let me tell you, folks, this is delicious. And what I would like to do is to make sure I put the site out there for everyone. Oh, there it is. Put it out there to support the people in the work. And you know that when I put it out there, people are going to be, they're going to be reaching out to you. So make sure you can fill these orders.
Mm-hmm.
I got the pecan crunch that I'm about to I'm about to rip into right now. The water Ahia, in the name of Yeshua, Amen.
God.
Lord, I want the spicy cheddar chili. It's too sweet for me now. But I need you can call it, you can name it, Elder Recall Special or whatever you want. What we need is some spicy cheddar with a little salt on that thing. Bring it home.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, 253 area code.
Hello.
Last call for this evening, because after dark it start getting deep out here.
My name is Leonard King. I'm actually calling just to say I appreciate you good brothers and what you're doing. It's my first time actually calling. I've been watching you guys for about 13, 14 years now. So I figured give you a call.
13, 14 years. Where you from? City, state?
I'm originally from the state of Illinois, but I live out here in the Seattle area.
You know we got a church there.
That's what I was calling for. I'm pretty I'm gonna be honest with you. Who am I speaking with, if I'm not asking?
You're speaking to Elder Ricard Shiard. That's who you're speaking to, sir.
All praise to the Most High. Man, well, you know, I'm skeptical of where I'm at because it's just something strange in the neighborhood that's been going on for a long time. And I've been
hold up, back up real quick. You say you're skeptical about what's going on in your neighborhood. What's going on in your neighborhood?
It's just more of like the spirit of the Most High ain't out here, man. There's a lot of I want to say posers, and you know I'm a man that have children, so I try to keep my babies as close as I can to me, so I don't really affiliate with a lot of churches anymore. Or, you know, I might have seen the Israelites maybe once or twice in 13 years, man.
What's your name?
My name is Leonard King.
How old are you?
I'm 42 years old.
Well, I'll tell you what, we don't got to talk here, but I'm going to give you a call, and we're going to talk about how your family can connect with the body there. All right?
Yes, sir.
My brother, welcome to the fold. 14 years, you about ready to do something.
Yes,
my
sir.
brother, Shalom.
Shalom.
All right? Well, Elder Lawyer, that concludes our broadcast for this evening. We're the Gathered of Christ Church. The lesson, overcoming the death jaws of Babylon. I hope you've been edified and understand that we're up against the dark side. But yes, we are the children of Israel. We are back. And with Christ on our side, the Babylonians cannot win. With that, may the Most High be with you. Stay prayed up, sin not. Thank you, Elder Lawyer. Keep in mind, we are the children of Israel, and the Most High has called us back. Have a good evening. Blessings, Lawyer.
Yes, sir. Shalom.
The east is where
Shalom.
from the 12 tribes of Israel.
HistoryTimes.org.
The Assyrian king, he took us down, we fell. With a great escape, we went through the Euphrates. The Lord held the water still. To a land where no mankind dwelt, we went. The 12 tribes of Israel. So we be Manasseh, the Cubans, Ephraim from Puerto Rico, and Valley from the Isles of Hawaii. The Lord is calling back Israel. Zebulon from Panama, Gad, the North American Indians, Simeon, the Dominicans, our highest gathering Israel. The Arabs and Africans told us. Together our wives and children then sold us. In the belly of these great ships.